Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the YellaWood 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. Race 34 of 36 for the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025. The second race of the round of 8, the final Superspeedway race of the year, and arguably the worst Superspeedway now, given that no effort has been made to try and improve it at Talladega. It probably likely won't have the handling woes of Atlanta or Daytona, but I just hope my guys can survive. I mean, that's the name of the game. All right. I don't know what. Well, another one bites the dust is actually kind of fitting for, but hey. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Ooh, another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Ooh, another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. We're just waiting to get back.
Last week, the round of 8 turned to chaos.
Everything broken.
Cars wrecking.
What was he doing?
Dreams crashing.
We're done.
Now the party starts at Talladega. The chaos doesn't fade, it multiplies.
Come on!
Because here in Alabama, you don't just race this place, you survive it.
I guess there's some fans sitting there watching that would say, why in the hell would drivers even want to do this? It's chaos. It's crazy. And we're going to see the unexpected again today. I think I heard the King say he's seen it all here. I'm not so sure. Let's see what today brings us.
He also said the chaos doesn't fade, it multiplies today. DJ, if there's one playoff driver who's in a must-perform situation today, who would it be?
I think Ryan Blaney, he has to perform.
No, Logano
at a
is
high
probably
level,
closer,
but it's
because
not
Blaney is better than
necessarily
him at Martinsville.
must-win situation. Good finishes in the first 2 stages, he might be looking at this differently.
He's 0 for
let's
52
say William Byron.
at drafting tracks. Has Kyle Larson improved his skills enough at this type of
Considering that
racing
William
to finally win
Byron
one?
No, I think he
has
said
not
it earlier.
performed well
His
at
skills are
Martinsville
always great.
in the next
It's
gen
a look at
in the
it.
fall
It's
race.
turned around, being in the right place, right time.
What kind of pressure is William Byron under today? It's been a disappointing playoffs after winning the regular season championship.
You know, I think that regular season championship, winning that, brings some more pressure and has been disappointing, but he's the man that's up for the job. Back-to-back Daytona 500 tells you he can get it done.
And his teammate Chase Elliott is the lowest qualified playoff driver in 25th today. Going to keep
Talladega.
an eye on the 9
Qualifying
car this
doesn't matter
afternoon.
at all.
Let's get the engines cranked for NASCAR's biggest wild card race.
That's it. That's it. Now one more time. Everybody.
What was that?
Talladega, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Here to give the command to start engines is YellaWood 5-star Heroes honorary starter Lulu Gribben. YellaWood CEO Mark Callender and representatives of the company's network of over 5,000
the most country name I ever heard.
Take it away.
Drivers,
right, and with that, 40 drivers ready to hit the track. We got a full grid for today's race. Here is today's starting lineup. Starting 40th, driving the number 66, SI Yachts Ford for Garage 66. 47 years old from Bakersfield, California, Casey Mears. Starting 39th, driving the number 78, Live Fast Motorsports Chevrolet for Live Fast Motorsports. 41 years old from Wauchula, Florida, BJ McLeod. Starting 38th, driving the number 62, Little Dude Wipes Bubble Bum Chevrolet for Beard Motorsports. 26 years old from Ridgefield, Connecticut, Anthony Alfredo. Starting 37th, driving the number 47, Jack Link's Non-Vegan Chevrolet for Hayek Motorsports. 38 years old from Olive Branch, Mississippi, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Starting 36th, driving the number 4, Rush Truck Centers Ford for Front Row Motorsports. 27 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada, Noah Gregson. Starting 35th, driving the number 51, Arby's Steak Nuggets Ford for Rick Ware Racing. 29 years old from Greensboro, North Carolina, Cody Ware. Starting 34th, driving the number 16, Black's Tire Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. 43 years old from Los Gatos, California, A.J. Allmendinger. Starting 33rd, driving the number 33, United Rental Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. 31 years old from Winston, Georgia, Austin Hill. Starting 32nd, driving the number 77, Moto Casino Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. 22 years old from Portage, Michigan, Carson Hocevar. Starting 31st, driving the number 88, WeatherTech Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. 36 years old from Auckland, New Zealand, Shane Van Gisbergen, the first rookie in the field. Starting 30th, driving the number 43, Dollar Tree Toyota for Legacy Motor Club. 29 years old from Byron, Michigan, Eric Jones. Starting 29th, driving the number 10, Grizzly Nicotine Pouches Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. 33 years old from Louisville, North Carolina, Ty Dillon. Starting 28th, driving the number 42, Pie Barker Fire and Safety Toyota for Legacy Motor Club. 28 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina, John Hunter Nemechek. Starting 27th, driving the number 34, Love's Travel Stops Ford for Front Row Motorsports. 25 years old from Cheryl's Ford, North Carolina, Todd Gilliland. Starting 26th, driving the number 99, Freeway Insurance Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. 33 years old from Monterrey, Mexico, Daniel Suarez. Starting 25th, driving the number 9, Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 29 years old from Dawsonville, Georgia, Chase Elliott, the first playoff driver. Starting 24th, driving the number 1, Busch Light Hunting Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. 32 years old from Alva, Florida, Ross Chastain. Starting 23rd, driving the number 38, Benabone Ford for Front Row Motorsports. 26 years old from Huntington Beach, California, Zane Smith. Starting 22nd, driving the number 7, Gamebridge Assists Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. 26 years old from Winnemac, Indiana, Justin Haley. Starting 21st, driving the number 3, Brestree Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. 35 years old from Louisville, North Carolina, Austin Dillon. Starting 20th, driving the number 6, BuildSubmarines.com Ford for Roush Fenway Kozlowski Racing. 41 years old from Rochester Hills, Michigan, Brad Kozlowski. Starting 19th, driving the number 5, HendrickCars.com Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 33 years old from Elk Grove, California, Kyle Larson, the second playoff driver. Starting 18th, driving the number 54, Monster Energy Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 23 years old from Charlotte, North Carolina, Ty Gibbs. Starting 17th, driving the number 11, National Debt Relief Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 44 years old from Chesterfield, Virginia, Denny Hamlin, the third playoff driver. Starting 16th, driving the number 22, Shell Pennzoil Ford for Team Penske. 35 years old from Middletown, Connecticut, Joey Logano. Starting 15th, driving the number 45, the Beast Toyota for 2311 Racing. 29 years old from Corning, California, Tyler Reddick. Starting 14th, driving number 17, Kroger, Thomas's High Protein Bagels, Ford, for Roush Fenway Kozlowski Racing. 32 years old from Prosper, Texas, Chris Buescher. Starting 13th, driving the number 24, Raptor Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 27 years old from Charlotte, North Carolina, William Byron. The fifth playoff driver. The guy was fourth. Starting 12th, driving the number 41, Cisco Racetrack Ford for Haas Factory Team. 27 years old from Ladera Ranch, California, Cole Custer. And starting 11th, driving the number 48, Ally Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 32 years old from Tucson, Arizona, Alex Bowman. Now for the top 10. Starting 10th, driving the number 23, Columbia Toyota for 2311 Racing. 32 years old from Mobile, Alabama, Bubba Wallace. Starting 9th, driving the number 35, Monster Energy Zero Sugar Toyota for 2311 Racing. 26 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada, Riley Herbst, the second playoff driver. Starting 8th, driving the number 12, Menards Dutch Boy Ford for Team Penske. 31 years old from High Point, North Carolina, Ryan Blaney, the sixth playoff driver. Starting 7th, driving the number 20, DeWalt Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 30 years old from Norman, Oklahoma, Christopher Bell, the seventh playoff driver. Starting 6th, driving the number 21, Eero Ford for Wood Brothers Racing. 34 years old from Hendersonville, Tennessee, Josh Berry. Starting 5th, driving the number 60, Trimble Ford for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. 34 years old from Berlin, Connecticut, Ryan Preece. Starting 4th, driving the number 2, Discount Tire Ford for Team Penske. 27 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina, Austin Cindric, the highest starting of the 13 Fords. Starting in 3rd, driving the number 8, Cheddar Scratch Kitchen Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. 40 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada, Kyle Busch. Starting on the outside pole, driving the number 19, Bass Pro Shops Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 30 years old from Mitchell, Indiana, Chase Briscoe, the highest starting playoff driver and the highest starting of the 9 Toyotas. And on the pole, driving the number 71, Carolina Handling Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. With a pole time of 52.481 seconds and an average speed of 182.466 miles per hour. 40 years old from Glendale, Arizona, the highest starting of the 18 Chevrolets, Michael McDowell. That is your starting lineup for today's YellaWood 500.
To someone else. That's the question, though, at the end of the race today, Jeff. Who is willing to work with Team Penske and who is not? Team Penske's on the ropes. A win today would put them into the championship 4 at Phoenix.
All right, let's get back to the starting lineup. Row 6, Alex Bowman, Cole Custer. Both looking for the first wins of the season. Row 7, William Byron, a playoff driver. Chris Buescher won at Daytona in the summer 2023. Row 8, 4 wins combined in this row. Tyler Reddick and Joey Logano. Row 9, an all JGR row. Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs looking for his first career win. Row 10, Kyle Larson. Never won a drafting style race, and Brad Keselowski, 6 career wins at Talladega.
Kyle Larson is like Rusty Wallace
with Denny Hamlin.
Well, last week's victory at Vegas marked Denny Hamlin's 60th career Cup win, and it locked him into the championship 4. So, what does that mean for the 11 team today? This morning, I talked with crew chief Chris Gale, who told me nothing but winning today can do them any good. They've got the freedom to play with whatever strategy they need to win the race. He also noted if they were to go to victory lane today, it would keep someone below the cut line from locking into the championship, which could benefit their JGR teammates.
Thank you, Kim. Back to the starting lineup in row 11, Austin Dillon and Justin Haley. Justin Haley announced this year won't be back with Spire, looking for a good run. Row 12, Zane Smith and Ross Chastain. Chastain won back here in 2022. He knows how to do it. A playoff driver in row 13. We have Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez. Row 14, we have Todd Gilliland. He'll start next to John Hunter Nemechek. Back in row 15, we have Ty Dillon and Eric Jones. Dave.
Steve, let's slide back up to row 10 in the 19th starting position. That is Kyle Larson. Jeff mentioned it, never won on a drafting style track. So he was asked about it this week. Hey, what do you think it would feel like? What would it be in victory lane if you finally won one of these? He goes, I used to think it wouldn't be that big a deal. Anyone can win on a drafting style track. Well, now that it's been years and years of trying, I kind of think it would be big. And of course, it'd be huge because he'd be the next entrant into the championship 4 if he wins here today.
Good stuff, Dave. Oval performances are getting better and better for SVG. Shane Van Gisbergen. He starts on row 16 with Carson Hocevar. A row behind is Austin Hill, who's had a good weekend here in Xfinity Series competition, and AJ Armendinger. Row 18, Cody Ware and Noah Gregson, who has won here in the Xfinity Series. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., defending race winner, back on row 19 with Anthony Alfredo. And the final row today, BJ McLeod and Casey Mears, as Casey gets closer and closer to that 600th NASCAR start. Hey, Dylan Welsh, tell us more about Chase Elliott.
Well, Diff, of the 4 drivers below the cut line today, not sure if there is a team less flustered by the ground they have to make up than this group right here on the 9 team. They qualified 25th. Not a worry from a track position standpoint, but where that could present a challenge is on pit road. They don't have the greatest pit stall selection, and at a place where efficiency on pit road can win or lose you the race, crew chief Alan Gustafson told me this morning that's their most prevalent concern at the start of the day. They like the race car here, finished 5th in the spring, and twice before Chase Elliott stood in victory lane at Talladega.
I want to tell you about Busch Light and how Busch Light is giving away $1,000. Follow at Busch Beer on X and enter using hashtag BuschAllForOne, hashtag sweepstakes during every lap that ends in 1 for a chance to win cold and smooth cash. Good luck. Always like to bring you some pep talks, pre-race pep talks with inside the teams. Let's go to Joe Gibbs Racing and the 19 of Chase Briscoe.
Fellas, obviously got a good starting spot. Hopefully can be up here at the end of this deal and in the hunt. Obviously got to get the stage point.
For
Wait a
Richard
minute.
Childress Racing.
Okay. I didn't realize that I was behind.
Two-time winner here at Talladega.
Okay, on that note, I was 3 laps behind. So now I'm caught up. I missed the first laps. 188 laps around the, the 2.66 mile Trialville Superspeedway. We're on the 3rd lap, and Penske's already working towards the front. Josh Berry in front. Logano has run the outside lane from the mid-teens to the lead. Well, to second
and they're
place.
always watching him where he is, knowing that he is an ever-present threat as he tucks in behind fellow Ford driver Josh Berry.
A lot of talk about the playoffs, but Josh Berry sitting there leading this race. Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, who has had just a miserable year, one he wants to forget. Here he is in the front of this pack early in the race.
He's on the bottom lane leading.
That guy right there
We got Ryan Priest, Bell, Bowman, and Reddick behind him. On the inside lane.
In the back now.
Someone's trying to make a 4th lane.
Right in the
Let's see, who's that? I think that's Ty Dillon and Carson Hocevar.
3 wide about Talladega is pretty manageable. 4 wide, you really run out of all the extra room needed. Now we have 4 very clear
Almost
lanes
3.5.
of traffic. Trialville actually wider than the rest of the racetrack.
That's right. It gets really interesting.
Oh my God! I thought it was almost 5 wide.
The track actually gets more narrow. It's more room in the Trialville than it is right here.
3 rows of 4 wide. Crazy. How about Ryan Priest? Sits second, right along that yellow line at the bottom as he tucks in behind Kyle Busch. Here comes Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman.
The outer 3rd and 4th lanes are having a surge. The 2nd lane is the one that's falling back
on board
now.
With thanks to BuiltSubmarines.com. This is Keselowski, 6-time winner here at Dega.
Hasn't won since 2021 at a restrictor plate track, which is also his last win with Team Penske.
Be right with you. You got to kind of be defensive. 1 lane lower.
Kyle Busch now listed as the leader. It looks like it's 3-way. Yeah, it's 3-way with Busch, Wallace, and Ryan Priest. Chase Briscoe holding on up front. He's in the he's the 2nd car in the middle lane.
Or first group 4 wide. Brad Keselowski, 1 from the bottom. The 1 car.
Ty Gibbs blocking both the 3rd and 4th lanes.
I got really tight.
Here comes Justin Haley with a run to the outside, almost 5 wide. Gibbs is still trying to block, which is insanity to me.
Justin Haley was announced earlier this week that he will be looking for a ride in 2026. So he's got
a push from Ross Chastain
and 2 more.
Outside lane now, still led by Josh Berry. Bottom lane is where it's at now. Bubba Wallace leading Kyle Busch.
Driving that race car from the mirror. He was starting to pull away from that outside lane. He saw the lane that was coming was the bottom, so he turned left and got himself positioned in front of Kyle Busch.
Denny Hamlin's just chilling in the back.
A lot of impatience in the middle of this field. I think some guys are trying to ride and other guys trying to go forward, and I think that's why we see that 4 wide. I love this look right here. Look at these eyes. Watch
Fourth
right
lane
here.
on the outside once again, all the way in the back, trying to reform. I can see Ty Dillon. Problem is, again, I think I might run into someone the outer lane, the third lane, trying to block the third and fourth cars.
But maybe 10, 15% of the lap.
That block he made on Briscoe was all out of the mirror. He looked, he saw the momentum coming, he jumped to the middle lane. Wasn't even looking out the front windshield.
So close to the wall.
Center lane, a couple of Toyotas helping each other with Bubba Wallace and Chase Briscoe. It's Fords up on the high line.
The block in the middle, it goes down the block the bottom with Kyle Busch. Briscoe getting a run in the middle. Berry to the outside.
So a good mix in that front pack, Stevie.
Sorry, I mentioned Bubba Wallace and what he was looking at. So check this out right here. So you have the dash and the camera on top of the dash is all right there. So it's hard to see because there's two of them. But the one in the center, this right here, if I go right in and circle, that right there is
all right, let's go back to 3 lanes.
These cameras are on the back of the roof. It's like high def, like your streetcar at home.
Outside lane has momentum. Josh Berry, the new leader.
He put it underneath his real mirror. That way he probably could get 2 different looks, always looking to the right.
Yeah, a lot of drivers position those in different places. Some are comfortable on the left side, some want it to be in the center.
Top lane, 4 cars back, is the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen. We said at the top of the show, his oval prowess is improving, and there is SVG. He's starting to find that groove, Jeff.
Yeah, he is. He's getting comfortable on the ovals. But this isn't, I mean, look, this is a unique animal. This type of racing is completely different than anything else done anywhere around the world. And it really takes some experience to get comfortable with it.
So far, so good for Josh Berry, doing a really nice job ahead of Joey Logano and Justin Haley, the top 3 early on.
Peacock, please do not go to commercial. That's where I'm watching it this time. Well, I guess I'll miss anything under caution. F1 starts in about 20 minutes. No, so those races are always 305 kilometers plus 1 lap. Or so. So I don't know exactly how much that translates to lap-wise for COTA. That's the start of the American swing. So U.S. Grand Prix. This weekend, next week, it's at Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And 2 weeks after that is they go to Sao Paulo, so in Brazil for the for at Interlagos, and then 2 weeks after that, no, 3 weekends. Wait, huh? Where is it? Should be here somewhere. Might have forgotten to write it down somewhere, but I think it's okay, I think it's Las Vegas Grand Prix. Okay. So then 2 weeks later is the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and that will end the swing. All right, we're back. Still
watching
3
the NASCAR
wide.
Cup Series
Barry and
playoffs
Logano
here
still
on
front of the field. You got
NBC.
Bubba Wallace
This
to
is
his
the
inside.
YellaWood
Justin Haley
500.
right behind Logano.
11 laps in.
SVG
Josh
is
Berry
4th on the
leads the way.
inside,
Wanna tell
and
you
Briscoe 2nd in the
about
middle.
NASCAR 25 is available now.
You
PlayStation
see, we
5
got
and
a
Xbox
car
Series
trying
X.
to make
You
a
get
host
the
of our on
real
the
NASCAR
outside
experience.
trying to
Book
make
your own
a
team,
4th
race
lane
online,
work.
go door-to-door
He's got
with
someone
stars.
behind him.
Learn more at NASCAR25.com.
He looks like he tucked back in the line on the 3rd lane.
Has a little crew chief mode. I don't really spend a lot of time in there. I did that enough. I like to pretend I'm a driver.
I like to pretend I'm a crew chief. On board with Kyle Busch. Promising start, but he has dropped back a little
17th.
bit. Cheddar's onboard shows us he now runs in 18th.
I would love if my drivers could actually work their way up.
There's been quite a bit of movement, actually. There's been some big gainers, and there's been those choosing to drop towards the back.
One thing Jeff and I noticed we were in the pace car diff yesterday morning was that crossover. You were with us, how rough it was at the end of the backstretch. So here in the tri-oval, as we mentioned, kind of wide. That bottom lane can be a little funny on the banking. The bankings in 1 and 2, you just can't imagine just how steep it is. We stopped, and we think the car is going to tip over. It's so banked. But at the end of the backstretch, where the tunnel has been put in, there's a pretty big bump there. And I only say that because, you know, you get in these 3 wide formations, and that's when I think you can get in trouble. Is over that bump, the car can move a little bit, and we'll see. They didn't drive very good in qualifying. We'll see if they drive any better over this bump in the race. Kind of right in this area of the track.
So there's already one driver going to the championship 4. That's
Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin. He's running in 39th. Doesn't really matter today a whole
He'll
lot.
probably just try to
But
win
Marty,
at the end.
It sure matters.
Is that Austin
significantly
Hill?
for the driver of the 22. Tell us more about Joey
in
Logano.
like 7th?
He'd love to get that 4th Talladega win. And Lee, I love what Jeff Burton did right after the command.
Inside
to
lane
start
is
the
kind of
engines,
evaporated
putting a spotlight
noticeably.
on the spotters. Coleman
It's only,
Presley is a
only
spotter
4
for Joey
cars. So I
Logano,
see
and I
Priest,
spent some time with
Bell,
him chatting
Bowman,
about
and
the work
Reddick.
that goes into Superspeedway racing. He said the week of a Superspeedway race, they'll spend about 3 or 4 hours breaking down film, but he and Joey will sit down together for 2 hours looking at film together and working on their vernacular, which they've worked on for over 2 years to try and get what Joey wants out of Coleman. Let's listen live to Coleman Presley as he works with Joey Logano on the track.
They're the same, middle and top, inside on the bottom. Priest bubbled out. Nose ahead.
Big run for Priest on the inside. He might get side by side with Barry as they cut him off at turn 4.
Even behind, even behind. Nose ahead, top.
That run fades as Barry continues to hold the lead with Logano in 2nd. SVG leading the middle lane as they come across the tri-oval.
4 cars on the bottom. Loose draft here in the middle at the 2 and 3. Tighter on lane 3. That's 15 complete, 1-5.
It's a sea of information, and that view very much reflects the spotter's view. High above here at Talladega, and information just flow to the max for the drivers.
Okay, inside lane has formed back up. Logano
I
looking speaking, trying to find a way around Barry. Not going to work though. And Priest with a big run from the low to the middle will take the lead with Bell behind him.
Back on board with Logano. Fellas, he said yesterday, if I can finish top 5 in each of the stages and the race today, I can still point my way in after Martinsville next weekend. So he's not putting a huge weight of expectation on himself that it's a must-win. He said, I still believe I can point my way in to the championship.
And then this is suddenly, as it formed, the low lane has gone away
tell
again.
us about SVG.
Well, you guys noted how much better he's gotten the last couple of months on ovals. The next phase of that improvement is here at Talladega. Shane said he wants to race today. He said, usually I just tried to keep my nose clean, but the only way to get better, and I need to get better at these type of races, is to race up front. So he wants to race today. He wants to be aggressive to stay at the front of the field, and he's done that. Started 29th. He's raced in and amongst the top 5 for most of the afternoon. Good start for the 88.
Jeff, I can't imagine. The ovals themselves are challenging, but you can kind of practice that in different places. How do you practice this, right? If you didn't come up through trucks and Xfinity where drafting style things, I mean, across the globe, this is one of a kind.
It really is, and I think it boils down to
SVG to the inside. Oh wait,
I like the idea
Kyle Busch
about
is now the
today.
leader.
Like, let's just go run as hard as we can. Let's put ourselves in the front. Let's go act like we're here to win this race, and that's how you learn. When you ride around in the mid-pack, You're just trying not to get in a wreck. I'm telling you, you're not learning anything. All you're learning is, did I get in a wreck or not? And what can you do to control that? I believe if you're going to be good at this, you have to learn how to be aggressive. You have to be willing to make some moves that other people won't make. And there's going to be days it doesn't work out. And you have to be willing to live with that, too.
He's getting more and more used to running at the front on ovals. Last week, you remember when he was wrecked? He was in the top 5. He was right behind Kyle Larson. He's really enjoying it. How about Denny Hamlin? We mentioned him before. Kim Kuhn, tell us more.
Yeah, and if you remember at the top of the broadcast, I said the team told me the only reward today is getting a win and keeping somebody out of locking into the championship more. So why is he back in the 38th position riding around? Well, they also told me the only risk is Denny getting hurt. And while these cars are very, very safe, this type of racing can be dangerous. We see violent wrecks here. And so crew chief Chris Gale said, don't be surprised if we played a little safe, especially early, because I don't want Denny at the risk of getting caught up in a big one and getting injured, knowing we have that spot in the championship 4.
I personally think that's smart. I know there's some Denny Hamlin fans that are out there that are like, hey, let's go to the front. And I think when it gets toward the end of the race, you'll see Denny Hamlin be real aggressive to do what he can to win a race. But early in this race,
separation.
Is
what the heck?
Risk
What's Priest doing?
The reward. And
Why
for
he
Denny
Priest
Hamlin,
pulled out a line?
Years old with several injuries in his past. It's a smart play.
A little bit of a separation now between the field. Seems like
I haven't
there's
seen
about,
a separation.
Oh, looking at timing and scoring, I would say there's about 18 cars in the front, 15 or 18 cars in the second group. Marty, where are you hearing out of the Hendrick camp in the 24 of Byron?
Or the 9.
There with Denny Hamlin is William Byron, the regular season champ, who looked like he could have won the Vegas race last week and had that vicious wreck trying to come to pit road. I just checked in with Rudy Fugel. I said, is this by design to be back there in 33rd or 34th right now? And he said, yes, it is by design. Once we got shuffled out, we weren't going to fight for that track position. But Jeff, I love what you said.
If you say so, I mean, we're running, I think we might be in last place.
It could be key for later in the race.
It could be.
We're 36, for God's sake.
What he's thinking, what this team has in mind, is try to avoid the wrecks. Get yourself in position. Remember, Steve talked about having to have a pit stop. Get yourself in position at the right time of this race. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And one of the ways to do it, Steve, is to save a little bit of fuel, make the pit stop a little bit quicker, have a good pit stop, get on pit road at the right time, and try to get
20 laps in now.
That you need to try to get
past the 10% mark.
Valvoline bringing us this awesome splitter cam. The driver of the 24 said it took him a couple of days to get over last week's big wreck in Vegas when he was running so well.
Here comes the side-by-side big touch.
All right, commercial. $12 minutes to the start. We're back.
Up, you could have a chance to win a 2025 Ford Bronco Heritage Edition or an epic Bronco off-rodeo experience. Don't wait. Enter now and good luck.
Now it's almost all single file.
Jeff Burton with you here on a sunny afternoon. The morning certainly didn't start that way. Cloudy, quite gloomy and rainy. It was a wet racetrack, but the weather has come our way for this round of 8 playoffs race, the YellaWood 500 here at Talladega.
Barry and Logano front two.
High protein bagels gives us this view of Chris Buescher all over Chase Elliott.
You heard him have to come out of the throttle to keep from getting into the back of Chase. You can make contact on the straights, no problem, but if you hit a guy entering turn 3, it can turn him around. And this area of the racetrack as well. See Chase Elliott going to the bottom of the racetrack. Cars do not drive well at all through here.
Well, Jeff, there's a little bit, I think, of, I won't say panic, but a little urgency in this backpack because of this organized front line. Remember, a green flag stop required. So the standard signature is, hey, let the leaders race, run in the middle of the pack, save a little gas. Well, the leaders, to me, are getting ready to say, fine. You want to cruise? You want to ride in the back? We're going to get single file and see if we can pick up the pace and kind of drop you guys off the back. Dave.
And
well,
the
bottom, now the packs are back together.
Berry. He's led 13 laps more than anybody so far at the front in that blue number 20 row. And remember, the Wood brothers are affiliated with Team Penske. And when I talked to crew chief Miles Stanley this morning, he said, absolutely, we are Penske family. We want to work with Joey and with Ryan and even with Austin Cindric to try to get one of those cars to victory lane. But then he said, and you know what he said next, we want to win this race. Remember, they were in the playoffs, got knocked out in the round of 16. They'd love a win today, Kim.
And for Kyle Larson running mid-pack,
Briscoe and Cody Ware
at these tracks
along the bottom.
The
some other movement in the back.
Those elements
make a
is
second
saving
lane
fuel.
work.
Take a listen to the Larson radio.
We're freaking last.
I don't know. Like, this is weird.
We're pretty bad on our fuel number. Need all the help you can give us now. Pretty bad on the fuel number.
I'm sorry.
This is worse mileage. Get back up to them if you can.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm slow.
And then Kyle later, a lap or two, said, again, I am slow. I feel every single wind gust. I need someone up on me in the back to feel like I'm not towing an anchor. So, Steve, what is Cliff Daniels, the crew chief, seeing on top of the box to indicate that Kyle does not have the fuel mileage that they are looking for?
Oh my God.
They get real-time predicted fuel usage. So it's not like a fuel gauge, but what they look at is RPM, what gear they're in, and how much throttle pedal they're using, and it gives you a fuel usage number. And Cliff Daniels
Briscoe leading that low lane.
He probably has a target of like, hey, I think we should be able to get this many miles per gallon, so we only need to stop in our pit box for this long. That's really what we're seeing through this field right now is this fuel savings. So let's talk a little bit more about how these drivers do it as now we see 2 wide. And let's look at our friends from iRacing who really do a good job of breaking this down, right? So at Talladega, unlike at Daytona, we see a lot more 3 wide and 4 wide racing. But one thing that is consistent, this lead car, he's doing all the work, much like an engine pulling a train
Briscoe
around.
and
He's
the high side. Cody Ware on the inside.
Numbers. Look, about 5 miles a gallon because he's 100% throttle, 100% drag. He's pushing all the air. So if you go back in the pack, the air is towing these cars along. So this driver back here is 65%. Well, he can go about 6 miles per gallon. So basically a mile further for every
Briscoe
gallon.
got dropped back to the field. And
tank.
Gregson is now the leader. Where will Ware go? Will he go to block the high lane?
About 7
Yes.
laps here at Talladega. They're not going to try to go further. What they're going to try to do is put less in. When
Third
they
lane
stop,
forming, I
short
see
gas,
Keselowski,
gas and go.
Custer, and
It is
McLeod.
absolutely a game of chess.
Hamlin, hey, Hamlin, it was all back in the package out the front.
Right foot, that's it. That's the magic go.
How did he
That's the
do
only way
that?
I know how to save
My
gas
God.
in Talladega is to let off that throttle pedal.
Well, you heard it from Kyle Larson, like the confusion about, hey, I'm trying to save fuel, but I'm really, really slow. And then crew chief comes back and says, well, you're actually burning more fuel, right, going slower because of the pack that you're running in. So, people act like saving fuel is easy. It's not. It is a very difficult thing to do, all while trying to maintain track position. We just saw
Hamlin
what
is
happened.
up to second. Wait, Nemechek's the leader?
went to 3.
And it went away because as we get closer to pit stops, you need to be in the front, and drivers start to get more
Nemechek goes up to
aggressive,
block the middle lane. Goes back down to block the
bottom.
bottom. Barry with a strong one on the high
Not
side.
that long ago, Denny
Also
Hamlin
contending
was
again.
down in the high 30s, and now he's towards the front. Progressive telemetry giving you the numbers. Noah Gragson finds himself up there. Cody Ware in the Arby's Rick Ware Racing Ford. He led 23 laps at Daytona earlier this year. He's 4th car back in that center lane.
Now it's getting squeezed together like an accordion because we're probably 5 laps away from when I expect we could probably see pit stops somewhere between lap 35 and 45. We're not going to know because they're not going to tell us. These teams are very secretive on the radio. They're trying to come up with a plan. Jeff, I always like to come with maybe 7 to 8 cars. I don't love 12 or 14 cars. It's too many. We start to see the wreck. Too few, you don't have enough help if there's a penalty or an issue.
I agree. If you can get 4 or 5 cars to come down pit road at the same time working together, I think that's the best opportunity for success.
31 laps in.
How fast could a stock car go?
F1's about to start. Verstappen's on pole. I think there is at least a 30% chance he wins the championship. Just for McLaren crapping it right at the end.
Race in a row for Oliver Behrman, who has been outstanding. Kimi Antonelli talked. But it's the same as we had for the sprint. Lando Norris starts second. Max Verstappen with the 7th pole of the season. Is pole the place to be, or is second on the grid the one that gets the best start? Because the driver starting second here in Aston Martin has led the opening lap in 5 of the last 7 US Grand Prix.
Norris will need a better start than he had yesterday if that's going to happen, but that's quite possible, let's see. But Max Verstappen seems to have his starts under control. All 3 tyre compounds are represented on the grid. The most interesting one is Ferrari.
All right. Hamlin and Barry looks like the top 2.
He's an outlier.
Generation of submarines. If you're looking for a stable, impactful career, visit Build
Keselowski and Logano are the second
We build
row.
giants because it takes one to build one. We ride aboard the BuildSubmarines.com Ford with Brad Keselowski running at the front of the pack. Here's Marty Snyder. Marty?
Lee, we've talked about teams being willing to ride in the back like William Byron a little bit earlier, but Ryan Blaney did not mean to fall to the back. At one point, he was 36 on the field and had this to say to Jonathan
We got
Hassel.
some
Listen in.
interesting separation here.
What are we just going to ride in the back with the 2, or what? We need to have a plan.
So since being 36, after that, Hassler said, let's go to the front. Let's follow our teammate, Austin Cindric, if we can. Blaney has driven from 36 to 19th, Steve. Clearly
Deb's
speed
in
in
the
the
top
12
lane.
car.
So
But
does,
if you're Jonathan Hassler, would you worry about your track
is that
position
Haley?
until after this
Haley.
pit stop coming up any minute?
Yeah, I would not worry about it until the pit stop, and here's why. Look at the leaders right there, Denny Hamlin, Josh Berry. Well, if we go all the way to the back of that pack, that's 1.2 seconds. The entire field is basically a 1.5 seconds or less. So with all of the seconds available getting on and off pit road and in your pit box, I wouldn't panic yet. Now, there may be panic at some point, but I'm not panicking yet. Post-pit stop, if you don't execute correctly, then there's time to worry.
We talked about pit stops and would love to come down pit road with 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, but we've seen time and time again at this racetrack, you start getting 14, 15, 16 cars coming down pit road at the same time. Somebody doesn't judge the speed correctly of the car in front of him. They ram into the back of him and start a wreck. It's hard to get on pit road here. What you want to do is you want a little bit of information, couple laps, 3 or 4 laps ahead of it. Hey, man, we're going to pit, right? But when you do that, you give that information to the driver. You tell it to everybody. So there's times that secrecy of not letting the teams know when you're going to pit, that hurts the driver. It puts him in a bad position of positioning his car to the bottom of the racetrack to avoid that wreck of getting on pit road.
Bottom left, you see all the spotters. Remember last week, communication or lack thereof between Ty Dillon and the 24 car. They stacked up. Well, these spotters right here, it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. Hey, we don't want to show our hand, but hey, we don't want to get run over, right? So I think you're going to see hands out the window for the drivers when they're ready to come. But I'm very interested to see what these spotters right here do.
Leading
right?
again.
Do they wave to each other? Do they
Priest
not?
on the Kozlowski on the low line.
I can wave all I want. That guy's not going to see me. So how this group communicates, it's like its own little sign language up there. So impressive to watch.
And after last week's accident, there has been a crew chief change within Corlick Racing. So on the 10, Ty Dillon, it's now Frank Denny Jr. On AJ Armendinger's car, TJ Bell Jr.
Spotter.
So a change with inside Corlick Racing, calling from the top of the stands.
A spotter change.
So what did I say?
Yes.
Did I say crew chief?
You did.
Sorry, I meant spotter.
That's crew chiefs take that personally. You're
sorry,
a crew chief.
I had to pick Steve up off the floor over here.
Head coaches is a tough job.
Xfinity Mobile, Bubba Wallace.
Hear him, how much he's out of the gas? He is way out of the gas to keep him running to the back of Joey Logano.
Cody wearing FPG on Pilot Bolt. Gregson and Custer too.
Position that Joey Logano got early in that run.
Gone.
It's all gone.
Thank God.
Run
stays like that to the end. No stakes point for you. Look you, Joey.
Yellow and black, that Cambridge number 7. He's had a really good run. A good amount of time at the front.
And then Brad Keselowski leading this race. He has had a lot of success at this racetrack.
He's the second most winning driver. High.
Wants a win in the worst way.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon.
Keeping an eye on that 6 car. See if he's got, he's running the bottom for a reason. That's going to be the easiest way, as you pointed out, Jeff, to get to pit road. 22 laps to go, so you can definitely get enough gas in it at this point. We expect, I think, between probably 3, 4, 5 second pit stops, kind of depending on how they do, how well the plug time is. The other great thing they'll do, Diff, we'll show you on the pit stop, they'll put a couple crew members standing there, and they're playing defense to their own gas man, so he can't leave the pit box. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Pit stops coming up.
All right, I might miss some of the pit stops, but they're about to have.
Like one of those cows, his teammate Liam Lawson was herding at the ranch the other day.
Here we go. The start of the USGP.
We got 5 lights on. It's lights out, away we go.
Good start for Max.
Norris, but in the second phase, Max Verstappen is away and clear and into turn.
Good. Oscar looks like trying to make up some positions. Ooh. Leclerc's gonna get to second. Leclerc trying to make up outside. Oh no, they're going into the curves. Never mind.
Lewis Hamilton is also ahead of Russell, who had a poor start, but Verstappen getting the job done, just like he did yesterday.
And those soft tyres work beautifully for Leclerc. He thought about trying to take the lead in turns 2 and 3. But for now, Verstappen's got it covered, and that's bad news for Norris, but good news for Piastri, as you say.
Bad news for Fernando Alonso. He's bogged down behind Yuki Tsunoda. Got a bit compromised going through the S's section.
Was that Russell trying to make a lunge? Not successful if it was.
Getting out of turn 11, and now the long straight. We see Gabriel Bortoletto going wide. Alex Albon going wide. Lance Stroll right there at the back too, but look at the gap that Max Verstappen's got. Ahead of Charles Leclerc, ahead of Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri, and down the inside goes Kimi Antonelli, battling away with his former teammate Ollie Behrman, now running for
His Prema teammate from F2.
Always, no
Yellow flag already.
Has been completed. We have a double waved yellow out on track.
It could be for Alex Albon.
There is a car way behind the pack. Yeah, Alex Albon.
Back of the pack.
Double waved yellow. Slow right down and be prepared to stop. But it's gone away. They're free to race.
Albon is going, but going very, very slowly. Out in front, Max Verstappen just about to complete the first of 56 laps here. And the gap, 1.4 seconds
Great.
between himself and Charles Leclerc.
2023 all over again. Oh my God.
Piastri and Russell down to 6. Antonelli, Behrman, Sainz and Tsunoda in the top 10.
Piastri having to defend hard into the first corner against George Russell, who looks just as feisty today as he did yesterday at the beginning of the sprint.
And you can see George Russell getting very feisty now as through the S's section we go. If he can hang on to the back of the McLaren here, he'll pick up a lovely slipstream down the back straight.
And the problem for Piastri is every time he has to defend, he'll lose time. When you're offline, you lose time, you pick up rubbish on your tyres. He desperately needs to stay within a DRS 1 second range of that red Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton's in front of him. And Piastri then has had a little bit of a tidier first sector. That's worked well.
Alex Albon is still going right at the back of the pack. We'll go to Karun for news on that in a moment as we head down the back straight here. DRS taking effect, but no one's within 1 second of our race leader here. Charles Leclerc is less than a second ahead of Lando Norris. Lewis Hamilton then has DRS, as does Oscar Piastri, as does George Russell, and there's only Behrman under pressure.
Behrman by Antonelli. All right, pit stops. You got the Toyotas.
What happened to Albon?
Yeah, just quickly drop it.
And
Dave Burns.
Chase Briscoe
some
just
of the
complaining
cars.
a little bit about a ride quality out of turn number 4.
See Briscoe, I saw Suarez, I saw
so he's
Berry.
Just fuel only here. Also, Josh Berry, the leader of the most laps so far in his Mustang on and off the pit road.
trying to move past Logano.
Guys leave, we're
On the
see
outside.
another
Keselowski
wave.
trying
Normally
to, and
this will come
Logano
to
trying to go
three-lane.
past
There
Plus
you
on the
go.
high
Eighth
side.
car. Kyle
Or let's
Busch
see.
hand out the window. So
Cody
that
Ware,
black
Shane Van
and
Gisbergen,
bluish
BJ
car
McLeod,
leaving
also
the
part of
bottom
the
lane.
group
We
that just
expect him to
hit.
peel off. I imagine everyone behind him on the bottom will get left. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call it 10 cars,
All right.
including the 9 of Chase Elliott in a scary situation, hitting from the top lane of that white car in the back. Very
Let's see.
ill-advised
Kyle
to do it from
Busch.
there. I think that was the 11
Bubba
of
Wallace,
Hamlin.
Carlos Zavar, Christopher Bell, Justin Haley,
Penalty on
Tyler
pit
Reddick,
road,
Ricky Santos
guys.
Jr.,
The
Anthony
19
Alfredo, Denny
car.
Hamlin, Casey Mears.
Chase Briscoe too fast on entry.
Briscoe speeding.
2 weeks in a row,
Oh,
there's
dear.
something that's going to hamper the 19. Here's Kim.
You see Denny Hamlin making his fuel only stop, nothing to lose. They told him to take it easy. Also fuel only his teammate Christopher Bell.
Clean and away. You see the pit stops on the left-hand side. Everything from a 3.7 to a 6.0. That's the difference. You mentioned that penalty on the 19.
Ty Dillon, Austin Hill.
As these cars blend, you'll see the cars on the racetrack continue. We should have one more wave of pit stops right here. Let's see what the Fords do. Do they run long? They do. They stay
So do the
organized,
Chevrolets
single
there.
file. So they believe they can make more lap time like this. So they're going to stay on the racetrack. Let's take a look.
So Hamlin was
at this
the
stacked up mess.
Wow!
Turn 3.
What are you
It
doing?
was chaos.
Yeah, like Denny is right here in the top lane, and he's got to continue to lift to try to get the pit road.
Damn.
How scary this is, pitting from the top line.
It's so risky, and you almost get hit by someone else.
Two
Oh,
weeks
jeez.
in a row.
Is
And
it-
we hear there's a penalty for Kyle Busch. Too quick exiting. So it
there
was
goes-
Briscoe on entry. It was
I know,
Busch
the
on
drivers
exit.
at pit are all fighting
Here,
each
that's
other.
Kyle Busch, bottom right, maroon and blue nose. You see that bright orange paint scheme of the 19. Cars on the top of the cars who have yet to pit, the Fords, and they have picked up the pace. A half a second faster than the field was running pre-pit stops. So this has to be by design. Well,
All right, the Fords coming in. Only 3 of them. Logano, Keselowski, and Gregson. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Herbst as well.
I like this number. I think it's easier to get on and off pit road.
See Herbst,
Marty.
Priest.
See Joey Logano coming to pit
Busher,
road. He has been shuffled out 3
and
times,
Cole Custer.
worked his way back to the front each time. Here's the problem. He did that with Josh Berry helping him. Berry is already pitted. His other teammate, Ryan Blaney, still on the track.
As the Fords leave, here is the lead pack.
Briscoe goes
side
for his
was Briscoe
penalty.
serving his penalty. The car coming into view will be the 8 of Kyle Busch, but he has a penalty. Let's see how quickly these guys get organized.
They're not organized at all, which might help Logano.
It happens quick, Diff. 3 laps, 200-mile-an-hour leapfrog.
Here come the rest of the cars.
This time round as well.
Or most of them.
Hendrick Camp, 24, 9, 5, 48.
Oh, there's Suarez.
All 4 Hendrick cars coming together. The Chevy
It's a
group,
track
we'll
house.
see how organized they are, Marty.
You see William Byron coming to pit road. He spent most of that run in the back. Going to be fuel only for him. And Ross Chastain had to make a hard left to make his pit stall.
Same story for Chase Elliott in the 9. Marty ran at the back of the top 20 most of the stint, but Alan Gustafson said mileage was good there. Short fuel only stop, Cam.
And Kyle Larson, you see there, already done 3 seconds of fuel he took on that stop.
Well, the 24 is going to lead the group off from pit road.
Doc,
all
listen,
because of
Chevrolet
a
did a
3.5
great job getting
second
off
stop.
together.
Remember, this car rode
But here
around the
here
back,
comes the
saving
pack.
gas.
Ross
They're
is
gonna try to
the
get up to
low-hanging
speed
fruit
and see
here.
if they can blend in front of this pack, which is closing on them very quickly.
Joey Logano, Noah Gragson, side by side. Here they come.
That side-by-side slowed this pack down just a little bit. I thought Joey...
Oh, God, Larson trying to go back on.
This race, I still think it's going to work out for him, Marty.
Here come the last of the
It's like
Fords,
the Hendrick,
including Ryan Blaney,
the 24 and the 9 might be able to hold on. Oh, the pack's going below them. Damn it.
Lost his wingman, as we mentioned, in Josh Berry.
The Blaney, Cindric,
Penalty for the one of Ross Chastain. Meanwhile, Gragson gets ahead of Logano.
Yeah, you saw the Hendrick cars, the duo, unable to put a defense to this pack.
That didn't
so now
work.
most of the cars have cycled. There's Kyle Busch serving his penalty. The Fords leaving, and this is not going to work for the Fords. They are going to have no defense on this pack of 15 or 18 cars that are coming. I believe they're just not going to have the overall pace running around the flat. Remember, they run the apron of 1 and 2 here.
They're going to get swallowed up.
They absolutely are. Here you go.
Cindric left, right behind his teammate Ryan Blaney, but here comes the pack.
Oh, they just...
Oh, what are you doing?
This is scary.
Blaney, no!
Cindric is left in the middle. They just get swamped.
That's so dangerous.
A dangerous move by those two drivers. I think what they tried to do is they wanted them to split them because they could catch the pack quicker.
And Ozar's going way outside.
He had some sort of issue.
Oh.
He went up the track slow. I
Oh,
don't know
is
if he
he
has a
problem with
flat
post
or a
right
loop. Right rear. So an issue on the 77. That could have been area. There's chaos kind of everywhere. 12 to go. Now you have to get organized. We talked all of pre-race about points, stage points, finishing position. And here he is, Joey Logano inside the top 5. That yellow and red car at the bottom. He's trying to do it. You look around, not a lot of other playoff cars. His teammate Blaney
Trying to make a run on the high side.
A lot of strategy for 50 laps. Now it's an all-out sprint to the finish of the stage.
AJ Allmendinger was one of those earlier stoppers. He stopped on 43. For Brad Keselowski fans, this is what puts your driver back way further back.
Oh, he misses
than
pit
where
stop.
He was. He came in at the front of the pack, ahead of Chase Briscoe, was in good shape, and this is the Briscoe penalty.
Trying to get as much speed as you can, getting onto pit road. You see him locking the tires up. Just does not get it slowed down in that section.
Last week, it was a crew hiccup. This week, that was driver hiccup. Unfortunate for them with 10 to go.
Time to go on the stage. I can't. Well, at least I can watch it. Car around in at Coda. I think it's Kimi Antonelli. Oh, car stopped.
Antonelli is stopped by the side of the track. And I think Antonelli's been hit by Carlos Sainz. That is Carlos Sainz there. By the
No, Signs. Sorry.
It's a really difficult car. This is a T15. It's a difficult. The marshals have got to go out onto the racetrack. I think they'll have to throw a safety car for this.
He's stuck on the side right before turn 20.
It's a virtual safety car. That means everybody just holds station at 40% speed rather than the full safety car, so it won't back the pack up
Oh, shoot. We got a wreck. Chase Elliott.
To affect multiple cars and teams, and a playoff driver in Chase Elliott. That's AJ Allmendinger. He had rocketed from 35th to the lead. Justin Haley was one of those constants at the front in the lead pack. Damaged car. Damage for Allmendinger. Damage for
Oh,
Elliott.
my God. Who is that? Is that
Coming to the final 8 laps of the first stage.
Is that Suarez?
And it all broke loose on the back stretch heading to 3. That's AJ Allmendinger's car. AJ out of the car. And the AMR safety team and track workers there to assist him.
Dinger's lying next to his car. What happened? Well,
there's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was the defending
Stenhouse and Gregson
race winner. He's out. Noah Gregson in the 4. He's out. There's 8+ cars were involved in this incident. Eric Jones, Legacy Motor Club.
He's been able to get back to pit road, and under yellow, they can continue to work. 9 of Chase Elliott, heavy damage.
And AJ Allmendinger up on his feet.
Oh, no. I think he's literally going to throw up.
So AJ's in that 16. Gregson's up above him.
Okay. There's up front. Oh, God.
Into Gregson.
Bad Jones. Bad hit.
And there's more contact to come.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a lot. It was time to go. Big push from the 43 to the back of the 4. Just turns the 4. Turns him around to the left, catches the 16. He goes up and makes a really big impact. Look at the front of the field right here.
Oh, Stenhouse went right in.
16. Oh, that 7 as well.
Oh.
So many big hits into that safer barrier.
It's 2 very common wrecks at Daytona and Talladega.
Bad push
one of them,
for the lead.
Eric Jones pushing the 4 car, trying to propel him forward.
But the 47 drove right in there. My God. Where did Allmendinger come in?
Around he goes.
Here's the view from Austin Dillon.
Nothing you can do. He got as far left as he could, and they just wrecked down in front of him.
I didn't even realize the 3 was in it.
On board with Chase Elliott. Every playoff driver's fear right there. You're in line doing nothing wrong. The wreck happens, and you're in the middle of the storm.
And he got really good information from his spotter. He lifted.
Where did the 16
The spotter saw that. He lifted, doing everything he could, but everybody tried to avoid this. They just collect behind it. That's what's so frustrating from a driver's standpoint here, is you really are a victim of other people's mistakes at a higher rate here than other places.
12 of Blaney just snuck through. What a big hit for Justin Haley. That right front corner flattened on the 7. He comes down and gets Cindric.
An escape for Suarez there.
And then AJ Allmendinger, you saw a car on fire, a stream of fluid coming out the back.
So Dinger's car just exploded. Okay.
Here is AJ's view.
Oh. Oh.
Tire
blew.
Big hit. I mean, here you are thinking you have a shot to win this stage, and next thing you know, you're wrecked in the infield care center. That's how quickly things change here. Hope AJ's okay. We watch these wrecks and we forget how big of an impact they are, and trust me from experience, and Dale Jarrett will verify it. It is painful experience. That's why drivers are so nervous coming here.
So as the 9 team go to work for Chase Elliott, right towards the end of stage 1, things came undone.
Looking for a place where the whole family can gather and have a blast? 12th Street Tavern is your spot. We got all your favorites. Try our soon-to-be famous grilled cheese, crispy wings, and something for everyone. Plus, a kids menu that will make even the pickiest eaters happy. Enjoy a relaxed atmosphere with friendly service is something for everyone, whether you're craving a casual lunch, a fun family dinner, or a night out with friends. 12th Street Tavern is a perfect place to be. Find us on 12th Street Northwest in Albuquerque.
In the wild world of checking rewards, only the keenest eyes find the best.
Is that the one?
No, we've seen that one. Ah, yes. The elusive 5.25% Peak Plus High Yield Checking. A true beauty. Peak Plus High Yield Checking with Sandia Area. Rewards for your everyday adventures.
Are you ready to catch all the games? Then head on over to Albuquerque's premier sports bar, the Sandia Sports Bar. There's no...
I'm waiting for that. Let me see how... All right, where are we in? Okay, we're back going. The top 11 are out of DRS range from each other. Great.
Phil, they hope. Last time they had issues with the can itself. They said their execution was fine, but we're going to have to bring it back down because we didn't get a full.
So they're all serviced. Joey Logano is at the front of this field, and there's just 4 laps left in stage 1. Here's the reason again why we are under caution. Huge hit. The likes of AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, and many others.
Happy drivers stayed out, including Logano.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
The NBA tips off a new era on NBC and Peacock. Rockets, Thunder, Warriors, Lakers. NBA tip-off Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
So here's the thing. I was scrolling on eBay looking for a car. Nona was right. It had to be an Alpha. And with secure purchase from eBay, I found one.
Thousands of cars, a new seamless way to buy them. eBay.
There's a method to all this motorsports madness. A reason we do all this shifting, launching, and battling over a bottle of champagne. We harness this and put it in that so you can feel like this. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Everyone say that I am too young to do my own thing, but I know they're wrong.
What would you like the power to do?
Chase Elliott's out of the race.
For the past 40 years, we've built a different type of law firm, built on trust, reputation, and results. For over 40 years, we've made it about you, our clients, understanding you, understanding what you are going through. It's not just about the money that an injury firm brags about making when they're not even from New Mexico. It's about 40 years of understanding how to help you get back on the road to recovery and making sure we hold those accountable so it doesn't happen to anyone else.
Let's talk about innovation.
I'll take it from here. The wheel, the internet, and now new Fireball Blazing Apple. We did it. New Fireball Blazing Apple, mankind's greatest innovation.
If you're a Chase Elliott fan, these are not the images you wanted to see. Chase has stepped out of his car, and it's day done. That's going to put him in a really tough position headed to Martinsville next week, the final race in the round of 8. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I would say also, though, that there's a lot of racing left to go, so he may not be the only playoff driver sitting in the garage when this thing is over.
There's not a lot of laps, but the racing will be intense. We will see the green flag with 2 laps to go to end the stage. Remember, the top 10 receive points. So if you're 11th on back, the finish is
2 laps to go in stage 1.
Situation, but all the playoff drivers are going to do everything
Bell,
they can.
Blaney, and Byron in the top 10 for the first time in the full pack.
As they enter the Busch Light restart zone. Here we go to finish off the first stage. Pretty even restart. The pole sitter, Michael McDowell, is pushing Joey Logano. Chevrolet and Ford on that bottom lane. Chevrolet doing the pushing in the hands of McDowell. A Toyota on the top side. 2 Toyotas, 3 Toyotas on the top side.
The outside lane should have a little bit of an advantage. There's no help on the bottom as far as pushing. There it is. That was it. That's why that happened right there. Is the bottom lane was not as organized.
John Hunter Nemechek giving Ty Gibbs a brilliant push. Let's see what Logano can do to respond.
Well, he's now 4th in the inside lane. That'll hurt him. And Ty Gibbs in the lead. Nemechek and Reddick trying to find a way around.
The cars falling back off the pack.
Middle lane now becoming dominant.
In the top 10, they want to avoid this last lap. It's going to be crazy.
1 to go, presented by Credit One Bank.
Blaney made the most of that restart.
Ooh.
Picked up a lot of spots.
Gibbs, Reddick, first second trying to almost look like they're going to block the low lane. They got Blaney right behind him. Reddick goes down to the bottom. So does Gibbs. Blaney trying to make the charge on the high side. Reddick goes up to take it.
Spot, right time. Here comes Tyler Reddick. Couple of
Toyota Monster Energy 2 wide.
Coming and grab as many stage
Coming
points
to the end.
can. The playoff drivers, in terms of Blaney and Logano, are the lead two. Then Christopher Bell is the next one.
Come down to the
Grabbing as
tri-oval.
many points as they can. But who's going to get them all? It's tight between Reddick and Gibbs.
At the end,
Really
to the
tight.
stage win, Ty Gibbs. No, Reddick. Reddick. No, it's Gibbs.
No, they switch it at the end.
It's Gibbs, Reddick, Nemechek, Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Logano, Zane Smith, McDowell, Hosevar, Bell, your top 10.
That was really close.
That was a great point. Good practice for later. Love that. Let's put ourselves in position to learn what we can and cannot do. End of this race to win it.
Good
That's
shit.
4 thousandths of a second. Right there.
Wait, hold on. What was the margin?
That's
Hold
what
on.
it looks like.
4 thousandths.
Good points to playoff drivers Blaney, Logano, and Christopher
Oh,
Bell. Will grab one for
Alabama.
himself.
Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Looking for a place where the whole family can gather and have a blast? 12th Street Tavern is your spot. We got all your favorites. Try our soon-to-be famous grilled cheese, crispy wings, and something for everyone. Plus, a kids menu that will make even the pickiest eaters happy. Enjoy a relaxed atmosphere with friendly service is something for everyone, whether you're craving a casual lunch, a fun family dinner, or a night out with friends. 12th Street Tavern is a perfect place to be. Find us on 12th Street Northwest in Albuquerque.
Which health plan you have determines a lot of things. It determines which providers you can see, how far you will travel, and how convenient care will be. We're determined to connect more New Mexicans to more providers and more specialists with Presbyterian Health Plan. We're determined to provide care to communities across the state with more care options and care close to home. Protect your family with a Presbyterian Health Plan.
While the rest of New Mexico is fast asleep, the rescue team at Daniels Plumbing, Heating, and Air is wide awake and ready to roll.
See your furnace.
All right, let's see me check chat real quick. Can you make a so many of us but we don't know the night will end. That damn dog. Maybe you just lost your mind. Why are we looking at this again?
Joey was doing a really good job pushing me. So disappointing. That's why I hate this place, but it's part of this racing. And at least we were up front for a little bit there. Sucks to have it happen so early, but end of the day, I get to kiss Tara and Arrow, and I'll be a little sore. It'll be my excuse when I play Trent on my golf game why he's got to give me strokes now. But other than that, just disappointing. But always expect the worst here and hope for the best, and today we got the worst.
Good to see A.J. Allmendinger out of the infield care center. Marty Sider, Dale Jarrett joining you from the Peacock pit box. And DJ, you said in Countdown to Green, the must-perform driver of the day was Ryan Blaney. And, man, he did it in the second half of stage one.
Yeah, but he had to work for that. He ran a lot in the back there. They played the strategy perfect, and he got in the right lane on that restart. Actually scored more points than his teammate, Joey Logano, who needed points too, but he ran up front the entire time.
You made an interesting comment about Kyle Larson. Is there concern for you about the pace of the 5 car?
Yes, for a number of reasons. That's hard. When you don't have what you feel is the power to go, you're having to use more fuel. And in today's world, in this race, a lot of that is predicated where you can do and how much fuel you need to use to get the track position that you need.
Boy, Lee, what an eventful stage one. Getting ready to go here for stage 2.
It was wild. I just want to jump back real quick to A.J. Allmendinger. I've known A.J. since he was a teenager. He is such a tremendous talent. He has won in open wheel racing cars. He has won in sports cars. He's won in any form of stock car. And that guy had charged from 35th to have a chance to win that stage. He might be 43, like he said. His old body's going to hurt a little bit. But that guy is the ultimate competitor.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And he talked about hating this racetrack. Well, a lot of drivers feel the same way. And then you win one and you love it. It's just such a challenge. DJ did a great job of talking about Blaney, the job he did, Logano, the job that he did, getting points. They're so good at it. But now, Steve, they're all the way in the back. They pitted to put fuel in. They're actually under penalty right here, so they'll have to restart single file on the bottom lane, but the two Penske cars are nose to tail.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a big problem. You see that big line of single file cars. That's because they topped off. That's the penalty you talked about. The three of Austin Dillon will actually have to give a lap back. He topped off as the free pass, which is a penalty. He has damage from the wreck, but rinse and repeat.
Stage
Green,
two,
green, green.
Let's get it started. Chris Buescher and Ty Dillon lead this field to green. Josh Berry's tucked in behind Ty. Down on that low line. Jeff, I can't help but think how good this has got to feel for Kyle Busch. Kyle has been in that front pack the majority of the day. He's the second car on the top lane. Keep your eye out for that Cheddar's number 8.
Big push right there. You can see the inside line, made a move on the 10. Ty Dillon, he's stuck in the middle. I think the 10 of Ty Dillon had a little bit of debris on his grill. Now it's off. Now it came off. He got in the middle of that pack, and it came off, so that's a good thing for him, but the engine would have overheated.
Cheddar's on board in the smaller box. The view of Kyle behind the wheel chasing Chris Buescher. Keeping an eye on Josh Berry. Buescher's teammate Ryan Preece is within touch as well. Remember, RFK still in search of that elusive first win for season 2025.
Think about, bad luck that turns into good fortune. Remember, it was Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe that had penalties.
Trying to make runs on the high side.
Serving the penalty,
Hamlin going with him.
When the wreck happened. So now
another car's pulling up to the
fifth,
top.
the highest
Looks like that.
driver.
Briscoe back to the middle, so Hamlin
left side of the screen there. That bright yellow
Hamlin leading the
spoiler
front
on the
lane,
19,
the middle lane now,
he wasn't
the higher
in the
lane
mess of
now.
the pack because he was serving a penalty.
Riding along with Brad Keselowski, the BuildSubmarines.com cam. Watch Brad Keselowski. He is one of the most aggressive pushers in the field. See him give a shot to the 11 car. This part of the racetrack, you really don't want to be hitting each
Busch
other.
had a speeding penalty.
So
did Briscoe, both in the top 5.
If you hit somebody at the wrong time, it'll just spin them right out.
Brad Keselowski's got to be saying, when is my time this year? Because he finished second at Bristol, was leading until a caution with 12 to go. He was leading at Pocono when he pit on a closed pit road. He finished second in Atlanta. He was passed on the last lap for the win, and he finished third at Iowa after leading 68 laps. So when is it going to be Brad Keselowski's time? Maybe today. Maybe it could be win number 7 for the driver of car 6.
And as we're riding along the spotter, I can promise you, just telling him, you can push the 11. There's nobody in front of Denny. It's all clear. Push him as hard as you can. Let's see if he can get to him. Sometimes Denny could drag the brake just a little bit.
Berry moving to the high lane.
He'll pull himself back to Brad.
Denny now. Chris is thinking about moving up.
Yep, so now the 21 car, Josh Berry, jumped in that outside lane. That completely changes now what Brad can do in regard to pushing the 11. If he pushes the 11 too hard at the right time, it actually pushes the 21. It can actually wreck the 21. Dylan.
I asked Jeremy Bolins, his crew chief, what makes Brad so good here, and he said, well, he just has a little extra swagger when he walks into this place. Confidence goes a long way here. They told Brad pre-race on the radio, get to the front early and stay there. They started 20th, got up towards the front at the end of stage 1. Here they are again. Brad likes his car in the 6 car, Marty.
Dylan, you saw Josh Berry jump up to that top lane that Jeff Burton mentioned a moment ago. Now trying to keep Denny Hamlin behind him, and there might be a reason. Coleman Presley told Joey Logano, his driver, that Hamlin is pushing the pace pretty hard, so they have the 21 jump up in front of them. So Jeff, if you do that and you're Josh Berry, can you intentionally kind of slow
Berry
down
now moving high.
Hamlin to kind of get the pace
Buescher still leading the bottom. In the middle lane, who's up front?
Yeah,
it's Hamlin.
That one lane down, but there's 3 wide, and you can't control all of that. And look, I got Josh Berry is a great teammate for sure to those Penske drivers, but Josh Berry's here to win this race.
Inside lane
he
is
here
very
to win
small.
a race for the Wood brothers. Saw those guys before the race.
Almost run 4 wide there in the middle of the middle lane. We are 4 wide.
That was a big move. But Wood Brothers want to win this race.
Hi, Alfredo. I see you're in the top 10.
Buscher easing his way up in front of one of his bosses and one of his teammates.
I don't know if this was by design or by chance. I guess by design. Brad leaves him a little room. Chris slides up in there.
I think that was design and communication. Spotters working together. Let's get lined up in this outside lane. It's not only 2 RFK teammates, it's also another Ford with Josh Berry.
Speaking of Berry, Josh has led the most laps of anybody today at 19. Kyle Busch right alongside him. Kyle has led for 9, and that was Kyle's first laps led since Kansas.
William Byron's made his way down to the bottom lane. Let's see if he can latch onto them. Work his way up.
Right behind him. We saw him backwards on pit road. Cody Ware behind him.
Oh, wow. So he snuck on. He's back in the middle. Logano and Blaney trying to follow him.
Let's go for a ride with thanks to Toyota. Here's Denny Hamlin.
In line with you, 71, half in front, half. 71, 10, 54, 45, 24 out back. One in front, 1, 3/4, half, quarter, still quarter.
Well, just off to the right, that orange and black 17 of Chris Buescher. Let's talk more about him.
Herbst is now in the
When I
front row
talked to
for
his
the
crew
first
chief,
time
Scott
today.
Graves, this morning, he said, it's been a long time since we talked as an organization about working together. That's the orange and black.
So
Ford,
Logano
the
and
one
Blaney are on
behind
the
him,
inside
Brad
lane
Keselowski,
on their
also
own.
Ryan
They're a ways
Preece in the
away
60
from
car.
getting to
So we spent a lot
the front
time
of
talking
the
about working together
to
like
the
we
back
did
of the front
back
part
in
of this lane, which is
2023. We kinda got
Bubba
away from
Wallace.
that the last couple of years
He's
and
the
the last
last
few
car
times at drafting
in
tracks,
the
but they're going
4
to try
cars
to do
in
it
front
today.
of
You
the
saw
low
Brad
lane.
early, the only one up front, now together within reach of each other in those Fords.
Byron moves to the top lane. Trying to
Working
get,
together, they have
I
them
think he
all
saw the
lined up,
opening.
right? With their second,
I think
third, and
from-
fifth car on the
I don't
outside
know
line,
where the
those 3
opening was, but
RFK
he made the
Fords.
move.
On the bottom, we mentioned Riley Herbst and Anthony Alfredo with those 2 Penske cars using that gap to the bottom lane to kind of pull back up into the field.
It's worked for Logano and Blaney.
That purple and black 62, the little dude's wipes car of Anthony Alfredo. It's only his 2nd race in Cup this year, the Xfinity Series regular. I think it's been a super impressive run for Riley Herbst. Great qualifying yesterday.
Remember a few years
Where's
ago
Bell?
at this racetrack, Riley Herbst did an incredible job. Had a chance to win. Just didn't work out for him. Also in that pack,
There
the
he is.
4th car in the outside row,
Austin Hill.
Austin Hill in that 33 car.
Yesterday's
has
winner.
The most.
I don't believe a driver has ever swept a weekend at Talladega.
He's really, really comfortable with these racetracks. Won the race yesterday.
He's in the United Rentals Chevy for Richard Childress Racing. He's got Ryan Preece right behind him.
I'm just going to check that, though.
Kyle Busch leading this race. You just have to think about, Steve, when you've had a year like he's had, you almost start thinking about, okay, how's this going to end? Like, what's going to happen today to take us out? And I think you really have to try really hard to get that out and focus on the positives. This is a chance today. We've seen the speed in that car. They got a break, got a caution at the right time.
Okay, the last time that a driver,
that was the
so
first
from what I'm
positive
looking
of the
at
day.
here, the
They had a
last
negative,
time.
but then they had a positive. This
Okay.
could be the day
Won that
for Kyle Busch to get this thing turned around.
He said earlier this week, Steve, that he thought about a couple of weeks ago going back through each race and kind of analyzing what put him in a bad position and how it
If I'm
eventuated. And then he
correct,
said
the
to
last
himself,
time
no,
that a
that's
driver
not a good thing for my mental
swept
health. I'm gonna
a
forget
weekend at
about that and
Talladega
focus
was
forward.
2000. It was
think
Dale
about what we're
Earnhardt
talking
Jr.
about. We're
in
talking about a driver that's won
2003.
63 times. You know, Denny Hamlin, look how emotional he was a week
He won
ago.
his second
getting to
chance
60.
race at Chance Motorsports.
A couple ahead of him
in
is
the
Kyle
Talladega
Busch,
Busch
a
race.
two-time champion, 63
And then
race
the next
wins.
day,
Now he's on a
he won
90 race
his
winless
fourth
streak.
straight Talladega
Some more
race.
positive
Kyle Busch,
news,
by the
or at
way,
least
currently
some
up
momentum
front.
heading into next year. Jim Pullman, as reported in the pre-race by Marty Snyder, will move from Junior Motorsports. Justin
Inside
Allgaier's
lane is breaking up
championship
again.
crew chief from last year will move over to crew chief for Kyle Busch next year.
Good comeback from a penalty earlier. Kyle Busch at the front, being pushed by Riley Herbst. Good stuff.
No, they're not. Riley Herbst is next to him, not behind him. Briscoe is pushing him.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it?
We're back. All right, Alfredo, the leader.
At the front. He's got his
All right, we're two wide.
First driver
On lap 80.
the championship for Denny Hamlin. Who we
And I
now
realized
ride
I
with
completely
right
forgot about
behind
the
him.
US Grand Prix. So let's see how that's going. Nothing. Oh,
No pressure on this guy today, other than to keep it clean and to get it to the checkered flag. We're already seeing him in Phoenix. Time to check in with Marty for an update.
Lee, stage one, Joey Logano ran up front, but if you're paying attention to the 22 in stage two, he's lagging back like he is right now with his teammate Ryan Blaney on purpose. He has a gear oil temperature issue at plus 45. He's mentioned it to Paul Wolf a couple of times
went to the bottom
and said it's really getting hotter the longer they run. When he gets a gap, Steve, he can cool it down a little bit. I just asked Paul Wolf, are you concerned about that? He said not yet, but if it stays at that temperature, cleaner than
You
I
got
will
some
be
cars going
concerned.
out with him,
So
forming a
every
little
car
lane.
runs the same
The lower
transaction,
lane.
which is where the gear
Logano,
oil
Blaney. I think
is
that's
measured.
Bell. So
Everyone
3
has the
playoff drivers.
opportunity to cool at the
No,
same,
it's Curry.
but
That's
every bit
Gilliland.
of cooling comes through the quarter window.
Wow, what a
That
run, though,
drag
they got
slows
all the
car
way to the...
down. So the teams
How did he
themselves
do
will
that?
reduce
And
it down
Hamlin
to
now
whatever
leading
they
the...
think is manageable. So obviously Paul Wolf, Team Penske have a plan. So I don't know if they're just over, you know, or too much restriction, or maybe there's a piece of debris or something in there that's hurting the actual airflow. Something we'll have to keep an eye on as the race goes on. But how about this? As the field slowed to save, the Penske cars hung a left, Jeff, and drove right to the front.
Just drove right to the front in one lap. And I will tell you, for the cooling of that gear oil, where that cooling comes from, in cleaner air up front, it will get more air.
Yes.
You know, in the back of the pack, it has less air back there because of the turbulence. So now that he's got this track position, let's see if he still complains about it and see if that temp comes down. That move right there may have been more about that gear oil issue than perhaps track position.
Whoa, big move at the front.
Man.
Right down in front
man,
of
this
Michael
is
McDowell, Anthony Alfredo. That
Near
was
wreck.
a crash that didn't happen. My goodness.
I don't know if Alfredo thought he was going to go block the 71. It could get in front of him. But look at this. From the third lane to the first lane, not clear.
Wow. Great evasive action from Michael McDowell.
Damn.
Here's the view from Chase Briscoe. He must have been saying, oh, I'm in the middle of it.
You know, Anthony Alfredo doesn't run this series all the time, so you don't really trust that guy. Nothing against him. He's a good little race car driver. It's just they don't have a lot of experience racing with him. So when he makes that kind of move, they're like, whoa, what's this guy doing? Concerned everybody.
Back on board with Briscoe. Josh Berry up to the right. Logano down low. Toyota on board, bringing us these awesome pictures, broaching 190 miles an hour, 3 wide here at Talladega. We're talking about Michael McDowell there. Dave, tell us more.
Well, his spotter, Michael Fisher, said, we really don't want that 62 to get in front of us. Well, that wasn't because of how Anthony drives, but that was a fuel save issue. The 71 is still very, very quick. Remember, on the pole this weekend, fastest car in the field after not qualifying on pole for this season of the drafting track races this year. So happy to be there, still could win this race. And very quick, as long as they don't get wrecked out, Dylan.
And Dave, as Jeff mentioned, Anthony Alfredo, a full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series driver, but consistently races really well at Talladega. Has 2 career Cup top 10s here at Talladega and has 4 top 10s at Talladega in the Xfinity Series. Something else to note, his day job, so to speak, is the Hendrick Motorsports simulator driver. So he does all the sim and R&D work for
inside lane, getting a run.
Motorsports team. Good opportunity for him to be exposed to his team at that level of the sport.
And I would add to that, I believe a sim driver, a guy that's in there working for Hendrick, having track time is very important. You know, you can kind of fool yourself in those simulators if you don't have real-world experience. So him running full-time Xfinity, running part-time Cup, I think that's an advantage to what he's doing, trying to help Hendrick Motorsports.
Joey Logano tucked in behind Michael McDowell. With Blaney, his teammate, tucked in behind him. Remember, they came in to this second race in the round of 8, second and last in the playoff point standings.
Second to last and
A
last.
big performance needed today, and so far, so good for the 22 and the 12. Marty, tell us more about Blaney.
Yeah, Lee, we talked about the gear oil issues for Joey Logano. His teammate Ryan Blaney also having issues. Listen in.
Very sporadically. I know the 22 wants to go, so I pull down 40.
Well, that's a good start playing, so I need to know if it's a new plan.
But we do our own.
Please
So
let
Ryan
both of
Blaney's
them
been
have
having
it
radio
make it
issues
terminal.
the entire day, Steve. In fact, at one point when he was coming to pit road at the end of stage 1, he said, I'm just guessing what channel we're on. Everybody on the same page now. They're on channel 2. He can hear a spotter 10 feet away, but the team having a whole lot of trouble hearing Blaney. So I guess if you're going to have radio issues, Steve, that's the right direction to have them.
Well, yeah, and radio issues are frustrating everywhere, but here they're more than just frustrating. They can hamper your performance. But a little of that frustration is there, and I agree with this frustration. Race car drivers, crew chiefs, teams, they like to operate on their own. This whole plan, we have to have a plan, everybody have a plan, it can be frustrating at times. It's like vacationing with a bunch of friends. If I want to do what I want to do, I don't want to have to follow the group. And Ryan Blaney is a champion. Joe Logano is a champion. So I know they mean well and they want to work together. But at some point, you just want to do what you think is best for you. I work for Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And both drivers, while respecting others, did what they thought was best for their race cars, and I will tell you, both won a lot of speedway races operating that way.
Junior won
friends is like fresh fruit.
10 Superspeedway races.
Oh, look at you.
6 at Talladega, 4 at Daytona, and Jeff Gordon won 12.
Cody
6
Ware
at Talladega,
in the
6 at
51.
Daytona.
The Arby's Ford for Rick Ware Racing. He's at the front again, and how quickly it can change because he was at the back of the pack just a few laps ago. Talladega continues when we come back.
Every time we have a race in here, it is. 6
seconds, and out he goes again. George Russell will be coming into pit. We'll watch this one with a bit more of a keen interest to see where Oscar Piastri is when Russell comes out. But there's Verstappen into the pits, and he carries on in the lead of this race from Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris in third. Stop there for Russell. Beautifully executed by the Mercedes team. 2.3 seconds. Piastri is powering his way down the main straight. Towards turn 1. 80 kilometers an hour for George Russell until he gets to the line. And as he gets to the line, he can almost see the McLaren disappearing through turn 1.
26 people doing 32 different maneuvers on a pit stop in just over 2 seconds. That just shouts F1 to me.
Just a bit. Hulkenberg came into the pits as well, comes out behind Ollie Behrman. Everyone has pitted now, at least once, I should say, in this race. And we've had an experiment with the tyres. Go a step harder with the hard tyre, leave a gap, and then the medium and the soft. And the idea was to promote a 2-stop race. I'm not sure that experiment necessarily worked or has made the racing any worse, but we've got a bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, it's not worked, has it really, basically? The hard compound tyre, nobody fancies very much. Those that did start on it, they didn't really do it.
There goes Behrman. We're back.
This race, and a little earlier, Dylan Welsh caught up with Chase Elliott.
Well, the day ends really kind of before it begins for Chase Elliott, and they'll have some work to do heading to Martinsville next week. What's your perspective just on the crash and ultimately the assignment for Martinsville?
I mean, the assignment's very simple, right? I don't know about the crash. I haven't seen it back, but, you know, I saw someone get turned sideways. Was trying to get slowed up, you know, like normal, and I ended up getting turned sideways and slid into some people, and then they slid back into me. So I'm not really sure about that, but yeah, I hate it. You know, I felt like we had ourselves in a good spot before the cycle. I didn't feel like we executed the cycle very well. That put us back in the back again. I'm not sure if that would have helped us miss the wreck or not. Obviously, all that's very circumstantial, but you know, nonetheless, it is what it is. I can't change it now, so just all eyes on Martinsville and try to go up there and get a win.
Well, he's won at Martinsville before, and he would dearly love to. He needs to do it again.
Okay, several drivers talked about trying to do all the little things right. He talked about executing the cycle. What did that mean? Well, under green flag pit stops, if you came in running 15th, try to come out running better than that, not worse, right? And all those, he had multiple packs coming down pit road. We're going to see it here in just a few laps again. And some people do find a way to come in, to leave pit road in a better spot than they came into it. And if you don't do that, and the further back you get back in the pack, the wreck happens in front of you, it's easier to get in it.
And driver we haven't really talked about much today is now second car inside row 41. Cole Custer on the scene. He's kind of running behind that Cody Ware car, that Arby's machine you see on the front left. Behind him, Cole Custer. Behind him, Bubba Wallace, and then Riley Herbst. So a couple 2311 drivers nose to tail. Oh, excuse me. That's Ty Gibbs. Two Monster Energy cars. Got me confused. They were nose to tail earlier. I know. And I was glad I wasn't a spotter. I'd be spotting the wrong one. So I'm sorry. That's Ty Gibbs in that Monster Energy car.
Custer had a top 5 at the summer race at Daytona, so he likes this type of racing.
There's Todd Gilliland in the 34 Loves machine for front row.
That's another car that just always seems to matriculate to the front at these speedway races. A little bit of a down year for Todd. So maybe this, we talk about the playoffs and what this race could provide. It could be a great run, perhaps that first win for driver 34.
So Kyle Busch jumped up to the outside. He saw some momentum being built by that 21 of Josh Berry. He jumped up to the outside, tried to block that momentum. Now down to the bottom. Trying to be in the middle lane. Michael McDowell, the pole sitter, now is behind him. Now back up to the top. He made that block by just inches.
And this constant change is very emblematic of the way that this race has gone today, because 40 drivers started the race and 20 different drivers have led.
29
pretty
for
cool
record.
so far, Dylan.
And good to see Kyle Busch back at the front of the field. Was close to the front last week at Vegas. Gritty day. Finished in the 8th spot. Kyle spoke to the media this week and said consistently having days up front is when you know that what you're doing is right. Talladega is kind of a different beast, but they've been up front all day. Qualified 3rd. Good to see the 8 car back up front where he's won in the past.
I will say we're about 10 laps away from pit stops. And with that wreck, we now have 7
By the way, we're halfway.
cars. 7 are out of the race, 78 off the pace, multiple laps down, so 8 cars kind of off pace. You just have to be even a little bit cleaner, right? The field's a little smaller, so it doesn't change the strategy. You still want to get to pit road with 7, 8, 9, 10 of your friends or your associates and get back on the racetrack. But we saw 2 speeding penalties. One was Kyle Busch, who's obviously recovered. The other was 19 of Briscoe. We heard Chase Elliott, as you just did a nice job explaining about he didn't think they executed the cycle. So all of that's going through this mind. And when you look at those points earned, Blaney, Logano, and Bell, the 3 of playoff drivers that have earned stage points today.
It's very difficult to do it. It's difficult to execute the cycle. And the team I think does it best are the Penske teams. If you look throughout the races, they tend to leave pit road better than they ended it. And almost every one of these races, they find themselves at the end in the front, having a chance to win. I'm not saying they win them all, because they certainly don't, but they do an incredible job of putting themselves in position.
And it's twofold. I believe some of it is, well, threefold. Engine shop, Doug Yates, this Ford power plant, knows how to make power by saving gas. Drivers save gas, and then they do a great job of putting fuel in. Look at the left-hand side of your screen. Ford, top 3. Logano being the top at fastest fuel-only average stop. Remember, they're all running the same distance, so we're comparing. So he averages less than a 3-second pit stop, which tells me that they're burning less, and they're also very, very efficient by plugging that can in, and Joey does a nice job of stopping in a perfect spot in the pit box.
These little things matter. We have heard about the Penske fuelers, how everybody on pit road has watched how they position their body to get the can plugged into the car and then stay plugged in as long as they can. You know, just a few tenths of a second make a difference in how much fuel can flow into that fuel cell.
Well, you put in about 1.8 gallons a second. That's a good way to think about it. Just under 2 gallons a second. So if I'm a half a second longer than you, right, that's a whole gallon going in my car. That's a lot. It's almost 2 laps.
The 40-year-old veteran, a legend of this sport, Kyle Busch, has enjoyed
Isn't Kyle
22
39?
laps.
No, he's 40. So, like, McDowell is also 40.
How fast could a stock car go?
No. All right, we'll be back.
You're watching the YellaWood 500
Laney's ahead of
here on NBC.
He's
Crucial
second.
round in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. You're right on board with Brad Keselowski, looking at his teammate Chris Buescher up ahead. Kyle Busch down low. Ryan Blaney immediately to the left.
Oh, so pit stop started.
Check out the Xfinity fastest laps, and Christopher Bell owns the best one today, ahead of Justin Haley and Cody Ware.
And remember, that is a point. That fastest lap will award Christopher Bell a point if he's able to keep it for the next 87 laps.
They had all the Penske cars, including the 21 car, in the same lane. Josh Berry and Joey Logano, they changed lanes, and that put the 12 by himself on the bottom.
I think we're closing in on green flag pit stops. I'm hearing about 102, 103.
Oh, what a move.
Logano went
the
down
top,
to
but
the
now all the
line.
Penske cars are lined
Kyle
up.
Busch decides to react
So
immediately
Cindric is
and go up to that second lane.
They were trying to get all the Penske's back together.
They are.
When they did that, it gave Kyle Busch an opportunity to go back and get the lead.
Put another Ford in there as well with the Front Row Motorsport 34 of Todd Gilliland, Marty.
Yeah, Lee, you may look at that and say on that bottom line, that's 3 Team Penske cars working together, but they do count on that front row Ford of Todd Gilliland to work with him. Remember, Penske and front row share information, and in their
I
pre-race
forgot
meeting
about that.
today,
Here
was
comes
saying,
third
hey,
lane,
front row,
top,
you gotta
Briscoe,
help us
Bell,
Penske
Suarez,
cars.
and
They expect
SVG.
Todd Gilliland to help out, Kim.
Well, Marty, I talked with Todd, asked him his priorities. He said, priority number 1, me and my 34 team, then my front row teammates, then the Fords in general. He said, you have to
Byron
be
drops
selfish
to the
to
middle.
win these races. So,
Oh, no, he's
yes,
been
expect
there.
me to play
Oh, I
nice
see.
for 99% of the race, but then at the end, it is every driver for himself.
Excuse me, stand aside, here I come, says Chase Briscoe in that third lane. Toyota onboard shows us this view. There's Austin Hill and Ryan Preece. They have a bit more momentum.
We're closing in on that moment. You see a lot of shuffling. That's because plans are trying to be orchestrated. Teammates are trying to get together. If you're Chase Briscoe, you got to assume he's a lap or two away. pitting from the third lane. Although Hamlin did it on the last time, definitely it wasn't the most efficient. Ford's lined up down the bottom, still waiting to see hands out the window. You don't see anything yet. It'd be right down that left side. Everything's pretty clean. Pace is picked up, though. They've picked up 2 seconds over the last 2 laps. No more fuel. This is full speed ahead. Kind of tumbling towards the pit stop. 17 to go in the stage.
Haven't seen much of William Byron today. Looking for a rebound after last week where he was a prominent car, a lead car, and crashed out with that awkward situation with Ty Dillon. It's today going to be the rebound that he and his crew chief Rudy Fugle are looking for. The Valvoline onboard shows you how he is in the middle. Jeff, as a driver, what's that like? Do you sometimes get almost like claustrophobic that you can't go anywhere and you're constantly looking for options?
You're constantly looking to see what the guys around you are doing to make sure if they make a move that is detrimental to you, you have time to answer for it. What you're afraid of right now, because you're doing all you can do to pick up spots in your lane, what you don't want to do is get yourself in a situation where you get wrecked. So you're just looking both sides, left and right, constantly.
Spotters, bottom right, they'll be waving their hands as well, just like the drivers, over-communicating when it's time. Not ahead, but on
Coming
the
to 15
lap.
to go.
No surprise, we have 2 Team Penske spotters, not only together on the racetrack, but together on the roof as well. You got to see the action. Man, it's busy. I can't imagine the intensity both on the racetrack and on the roof, knowing their responsibility is now Kyle Busch changes lanes to the middle.
And the intensity for the pit crew. The pit crew knows this is when they have to execute. I always think about it, we talked about this last year, like field goal kickers. They sit on the sideline, sit on the sideline, sit on the sideline, and then it's, come in, let's win the game, and you got to get it done.
Now it's your turn.
I saw a hand out the window right there, about the 5th car back. I think it's Ty Dillon. He's waving. Will anybody come with him?
These 2 guys at the front have led the most laps today.
Busch, Kyle Busch, Josh Berry.
Kyle Busch, back with the Valvoline on board, and William Byron.
Huge push right there from the 22 to the back of the 21.
Just 2 pitters.
2, oh geez. Ty Dillon and Carson Osavar. No,
Ty
yes.
Dillon, Anthony Alfredo.
Oh, Anthony Alfredo, okay.
Back to the front. Here comes Briscoe up high.
Busch goes to block the bottom.
Jeff, you continue to talk about really trying to make
Buescher
that
leading the middle lane now.
Stop. He has gone basically plus 10 or 12 positions just over the last couple laps. Same shot down the backstretch. We'll see if we see anything out the left side. Will we see any hands? Right there. There you go. Kyle Busch. Front of the screen, left hand out the window. Barry then signals behind. Oh, a push from Logano. So those 5 or 6 cars, bottom left, I'm sure are coming. I bet the second lane stays out. Can they get the pit road clean?
Spoken a lot about the Fords.
Logano going back in line. He's clearly not pitting yet.
With Christopher Bell pushing his teammate at Joe Gibbs Racing, Chase Briscoe. Here come the
Only
pitters.
5 cars. Barry, Hill, Busch, McDowell, Ware.
Although they do a very nice job being efficient.
We talked about it 21 being a teammate.
Logano is now without a line.
It's odd to me that they pitted on
Blaney goes down with his back. I'd like to join him again. But he lost quite a few spots trying to adjust for Kyle Busch pitting.
Josh
He would be
Berry
left
and
out
Michael
alone.
McDowell coming to the end of pit lane, looking for about 3 seconds of fuel in each one of the cars. 2003 for the 21 leaving, and then the 71's gone.
Roush is lines up at the front of the bottom lane.
Berry and Busch back to it.
William Byron behind both of them.
Sits at the moment in 7th place.
Knowing these stops are coming, it's kind of like sitting there watching a storm roll in. Like, you know, chaos
No one pits this lap.
is brewing. They all have to pit. And with the fewest laps they have to the end of the stage, it's going to be very hard to
Coming
get
to 12 to go.
organized and make a run if the pit stop doesn't go well.
The longer these guys stay on track running, the bigger disadvantage it is to those small packs.
Yes.
Because the speed of this pack is so much bigger than the 2 cars that we just saw pit together running single file.
Ty Dillon
So
and Anthony
if these
Alfredo.
guys keep making laps, it's a detriment to them.
The 3 RFK Fords are running nicely. Buescher is 2nd, Keselowski is 4th, Preece is 6th.
And there's the small pack you talk about, Jeff. Remember, small numbers. Now there's just 2 cars and 2 cars. They're going to be at least a second or 2 off of this organized lead pack.
That's the thing that they may have done because it was a few cars coming
Anyone
up
pit
pit
this
road.
time?
Their
No.
end speed may have been faster.
No. Coming to 11 to go.
Yeah, but they're losing time quickly now.
Here are the
Yeah,
cars.
51.9, nearly 2 seconds. They're losing 2 seconds a lap to this group back here.
11 to go in stage
What about
2.
the 5-car pack? One with Kyle Busch with the RCR, Ware,
You know, now
and
when they come, I imagine we're going to
McDowell.
see a bigger group at once. That's when true chaos happens on that entry into the pit road.
Walk your way through the pack. Briscoe,
I
Buscher,
see hands.
Keselowski,
Roush is going to pit, it looks
Prince
like.
Byron, Larson is in there. Shane Van Gisbergen.
Hands out the window on that inside line.
You got both Buscher and Priest. Let's ride on board with Byron. See if he follows or whether he stays out. In front, we think those 3 Fords are coming. Starting with Priest right in front of Byron. Byron's going up. He's going to go by him.
24 staying out. You can find a spot in the line. Oh,
23.
just the Roush cars. Oh, dear.
All the RFK cars on pit road at the same time.
Synchronized teamwork, Marty.
24 managed to find a spot in line in 4th. He's behind Flores, Bell, and Leader Briscoe.
Dylan, just 3 cars coming down pit road. I expect the other Fords coming soon.
And they did tell Brad Keselowski on the radio, get in line here. We need to save some to try to make this as short of a fill as we can, Dave.
Fuel in the Mustang and gone for the 17 of Chris Buescher.
Oh, there's a fight to the bottom.
All lining up.
Are all the cars in the bottom going to pit? Looks like
Buscher,
DJ
speeding
McLeod
penalty,
just
too
got
fast
lapped.
entering. Here comes the next wave
Buscher
of cars.
penalty.
Yep, here we go. Big pack of cars.
Oh, Van Gisbergen's gone.
Down at the 12! Just to 88. Jesus. How on earth was that not bigger than that was? My God.
And into the grass. We'll watch the gas-only stops and see if SVG can get going, or will it bring out a yellow?
He's stuck.
12 away, 24 away. Remember, these cars won't lose a lap, so these pit stops are vitally important. I believe the 88 may bring out a yellow. I think NASCAR's trying to give them a chance to get going. Gas onlys, let's see. Bottom of your screen, Briscoe's going to be first away.
The 88 is stuck on the grass.
Stalled. It rained earlier, remember. It rained a lot this morning. That infield is
Oh,
wet.
well, I wouldn't want to be the
NASCAR
cars
does
that
not
stayed
wanna
out
throw a caution
unless
right here because
well,
it's in the
NASCAR
middle
just
of a
lets
pit
them
cycle,
pit.
but they have no choice.
Caution.
The caution comes out right now. SVG sitting
Hi,
right there is in big danger. They just had to throw it.
And that is going to be a huge break to the cars that actually came with the spinning SVG, because they're going to get track position.
SVG is really good at braking on road courses. The difference is with this tire.
Barely
at
misses
this
Bell.
racetrack, It makes
Oh,
nowhere near
only
the grip
barely taps
as a
the
road
24.
course tire or a short track tire. It is hard to get a car to stop. So he trying to take advantage of the skills that he has, ends up locking the rear brakes up and then loses control.
How that didn't take anybody else
God,
out is
it almost
a
took out
miracle.
2 playoff drivers.
Just tapped the back of Christopher Bell.
Watch this. Watch this.
Watch the one in your mirror. Wrecking in front, stay straight, you're good. Just the 88, just the 88. Gonna be out of your way, come around 12.
And that's an uncommon call on the radio coming to pit road, wrecking in front.
Watch SVG. Watch this into the back of the shorty car. Look at that. I mean, Christopher Bell's like, what is going on back there?
Larson's, please just go back in front of me. Just anywhere but directly in front of me.
And he came back behind his teammate Daniel Suarez as well.
Look, it's embarrassing as a driver when that happens, but it happens to a lot of us. You are trying to gain an advantage on pit road.
Have a listen. Did he just get caught out? Got caught by surprise?
Yeah, like I
He
told you,
popped
these
out there.
tires just
Yeah.
don't make as much grip, and he's trying to do what your team wants you to do, right? We talk about executing
Hi, Curly
the
Swing.
sequence. That means getting on pit road as fast as you can, leaving pit road as fast as you can. He's just
So,
trying to get
I don't
all
know
that
if
he
you
can,
saw,
and when he
but
does, he locks
we
your
just had an
tires
instant
up.
where Shane Van
And that
Gisbergen
also is a
spun
little
on the
bit of
entrance pit
experience.
road, almost hitting 2 of the.
Getting more front brake put into
So
it
the
before you
88
pit.
of Shane Van Gisbergen spun on the entrance to
Let's
pit
listen to
road,
SVG.
almost hitting 2 of the playoff drivers.
He hit the water.
It
Look at
rained.
that grass.
The water. So
It
maybe
rained
he feels like there's some
overnight,
water
which
in the
means that it
seams
was
coming to pit
it's kind of muddy in
road.
the infield, which
I
meant the
assume that's
88
what he's
got
talking
stuck,
about.
which
Well,
forced a
looking down
caution.
from our commentary position, on the apron, even here,
So I
just
think
past
3 or
the
4
tryover,
cars
there's
hadn't
some
pit
weepers.
yet. They're going to be
That's
screwed
below the
because
yellow
they'll
lines.
have to go to the.
It's unfortunate for there's a little bit
The,
of you see it right
Reddick
there on the
and
apron.
Tyler
Yeah,
Reddick
that's-
and
that's
Joey
on the
Logano
apron.
will still have to
That's
pit,
not where.
and they're going to lose a lot of track
Let's get a
position.
better shot, but the point is, everybody came down pit road, right?
Yeah,
Only
right.
one
So,
person had the issue.
Circle that, Stevie. There's
So I
some
think
water there.
right here, maybe there's a little bit damp. But to your point,
But no one else has
Jeff,
spun
you know,
yet.
everybody comes down the same thing. Unfortunately
This
for
is
Joey
the
Logano,
third
everybody has a
pit
pit.
stop.
The 22 of Joey Logano is going to have to make a pit stop, I assume, Marty, or do you think they could somehow stretch the tank?
They do not, Steve, and they did not mean to do that. Joey Logano got shuffled out. In fact, Coleman Presley said we're absolutely stuck. So he was supposed to pit with his
please
teammate
just run out
Ryan
of
Blaney.
gas on the apron,
Couldn't make it
'cause I hate
happen.
this
One of
fucker
just
so
two
much.
cars that has yet to come to pit road here in stage 2.
He's
so
the bane
they're going to
of
have to
every-
come
of
and get
almost
fuel
every
to make it to
NASCAR
the end. In
fan's
fact, a moment ago, Logano asked, do I need to be
exploiting
on the apron?
the
Paul Wolf
points
told him,
format
you do not,
to
but keep an
win
eye
with
on
as
your
minimal
fuel.
effort as
Being on
possible.
the apron allows. So under speed,
Oh.
the fuel kind of sloshes to the right, which is where the design
Last
is.
year
When you
was
go
the pinnacle
slow,
of
the
it
gravity
because
actually pushes
NASCAR
the fuel
uses
to
the
the
playoff
left of the fuel
format.
cell. So
He
running on
won
the
the
apron helps
playoffs
pick
where
up
he would have
everything in the
finished
tank.
instead of finishing
I
12th
wonder if we can get a
like
little
he
bit
would
higher
have in a
shot
regular
of that entry pit road
season-long
entry.
format.
It's
He's
an
got
interesting
3 goddamn titles, all because of the
You
stupid
guys
playoffs.
pointed out the weepers where the seams between
He's
two
in
pieces of
contention
asphalt
for a
reach
fourth.
each other. Now watch this. SPG, watch his left side of his car as he's coming in. He does indeed
Oh, he hits
get his
the
left
water
side
on the yellow.
right over that water.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is when he has the issue. And that's the initially
Look at how
when
he
the
almost
back of
hits
the
the
car
20 to
starts coming
24.
around. So maybe SVG is 100% right.
He's used to racing in the rain. He's like, I know that was water. I feel that's water.
You know how he would see it.
I know, it's crazy. Watch this, on board with Larson.
Goodness.
That's unfortunate for SVG, but like you said, Jeff, that's kind of the same for everyone in that
45, 22
situation.
need
Here
to
comes
pit.
22 to service. Now, the good news is he can take tires now, Marty.
Yeah, so let's go back to the gear
Probably
oil
slide over the
issue for
front at the
Joey
start of
Logano.
the
Said
next
it has
stage,
cooled down, but
but he won't
not
get
much.
stage
And you got to
points
wonder, taking tires
stage
here, if
2.
that puts Paul Wolf in a position in just 7 laps when stage 2 is over, if they go fuel only, taking their time on the stop cam to make sure everything's right.
Well, Marty, Tyler Reddick also got shuffled like Logano, so Billy Scott kept him out an extra lap. That yellow, though, did not help them, he told his driver. So they are flipping the stage, put on 4 fresh Goodyear
Chris
tires
Buescher
and took
also
a
on pit road in the 17.
full
Oh, wow,
of
there's a lot
Sunoco
more
fuel in
cars
that
on
car.
It's going to
Probably
hurt
gonna try and
Joey
flip the
and
stage.
his goal of finishing top 5 in the stages. He finished 5th in stage 1. Another look at the SVG spin. Through the water, snaps one way, snaps the other. And a lucky escape for those around him.
Man, that could have been so much worse on the 24. He's my favorite driver, and he got screwed at Las Vegas with a bad wreck. So I'm glad that...
But understood with just the water count, like...
Huh?
We kind of understand all this shit.
Right, so it rained overnight, which was thought to...
Yeah.
So there was some dampness left. A lot of it's in the infield where they don't need to drive. But you could also see it in some of the cracks on the apron and on the yellow and white line, or yellow and black line. And so the 88 car hit some of the water, and that caused it to spin out.
It malfunctioned.
Well, he got loose.
Or something.
He got loose.
He got loose, yeah.
Yes.
These cars are kind of fragile.
They're surprisingly sturdy. I've seen horrendous wrecks and those things. I was there for one.
They're way different than normal cars we use. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. They're, faster, safer, way safer, honestly. Though, if you actually look inside of a car, let me see the inside of I'll find a picture of inside of a stock car. You'll see that you'd be surprised what it looks like from the inside.
Wait a second. Let me see.
I'm trying to find a. So I think this might be slightly outdated, but this is basically what the inside of a stock car looks like. I send you in
Let me
DMs.
see. Oh. That's
Yeah. So partly for weight and then for the structural integrity.
Yeah.
Back.
YellaWood 500 fans everywhere.
Ryan Blaney
if you've
fans.
never been, can't encourage you more strongly, just to see it. You've got to see Talladega to believe it. And the camping
I've
and
heard
everything
the
that goes
infield
on here.
parties
Such
in
a fun
Talladega
vibe. Ask
are
any of the
apparently
drivers.
super rowdy.
They love it not only for the challenge on the track, but just the general vibe as we show you several replays.
Yeah, scary situation on pit road. Be a safety violation for the 10 as he leaves his pit road.
Safety.
Josh
What
Barrett's
happened?
crew working underneath the right rear. There's a tire laying on the ground.
Ooh,
And
it's
there's not a
tire.
lot of, competition in this pit stop. And Ty Dillon hits this tire.
So that's a safety. The
You
20
see the pit crew member very frustrated. That tire makes
yeah, that's a
contact with
safety
the crew member
violation.
who's under
Hitting
the car.
someone else's
Scary
tire.
situation. Look
Almost
at that.
could have really hurt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, could have really hurt that crew member
NASCAR
who's in the
penalized
right
10
rear.
as I believe he should be
Yeah.
penalized. I think there's just unnecessary. I don't know what information Ty was given. So let's listen to the 10 radio.
Why did they have a tire sitting in our path for exit? What is that about? You know, man. You know, a bunch of souls. It's ridiculous. It was right in our exit path.
Yeah, I'm not sure I see it the same way. The tire was there, but you have an obligation. It's in the 21's pit stall. They have every right to have the tire there while they're working on it. That would frustrate me if I was a 21. I'd have to go in and have a conversation. If I'm the crew chief of the 21, I'd like to have a conversation after the race about that whole exchange.
14 cars stayed out.
All right, we can talk about that later. Right now, let's talk about this Busch Light restart
go.
zone and getting
4 laps to go in stage
this
2.
second stage completed. Chase Briscoe and Carson Hocevar are at the front of the pack, and look at Larson just pushing Briscoe.
Top 3 drivers who never won on the super speedway.
For Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell, William Byron, Blaney, Larson, all of those guys looking for some
Playoff
points.
drivers where they need to be to
How
get
far
some
can
points.
Logano climb? He's 15th on this restart. Here we go. 4.5 laps around Talladega. Points on offer. And if you're a playoff driver, you need to grab as many stage points as you can.
Well, Logano's ascent is already happening as he's pushing, trying to figure out which lane. He was looking top. I bet
Kyle
he's gonna
Busch trying to
swerve
maneuver.
bottom
He
here.
goes from the top to the in the middle.
He stays patient in the middle.
Goes down to the bottom.
Kyle Busch isn't patient. He's jumping to the bottom. Nope,
Oh,
back to the middle.
back to the middle. Briscoe
Big
moving
block
down
at
the block of
front.
low lane from Hocevar.
Briscoe.
Playoff drivers, Briscoe, Bell,
Okay.
Larson, Byron, Blaney, they're all in that front pack.
Carson Hocevar in that second place car.
You go through that passage of saving fuel and just
All right,
being
Briscoe looking
careful
to see if he can
and
has to
mindful.
block the Highland with
And now
Larson.
this
No,
is all
he
out.
holds
This is all
down.
out to the end.
One of the Monster Energy cars dipping
Red
down.
one going fast.
It was like his Herbst.
Oh, big slide.
Kyle
or something
Busch sliding
from
back.
Kyle Busch. I don't know if you had to get out of the gas or something, but that disrupted the pack in the back. In the front, still very organized. As
Ooh,
Briscoe,
late block by Briscoe attempt. He thinks better of it.
On the
Well,
outside.
Teammate behind.
All right,
Well,
coming down the
is
2 to
pushing
go on the
Kyle
stage.
Larson.
Kyle Larson leading at the
blue
line.
one's in the lead. Okay, blue one's in the lead. Okay.
Kyle Larson.
Blue, white, and red.
Kyle Larson. No.
Yes, the 5. So now the 19, it was down up
This
front,
is
is
a great
Chase
dress
Briscoe.
rehearsal for the closing laps of the race.
Wait,
Which
number
lane do you
5
wanna be in,
is,
top
wait.
or bottom?
Number 5 is
Which
Kyle
lane
Larson.
will
Right.
Briscoe block?
Number 5 is Larson. The main one
Into the
is
77, a big push
The
right
last
here.
name.
Briscoe. Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe,
Carson
yes.
Hocevar on the inside
Yeah.
of Kyle Larson. And Briscoe drops
Been a
down to
breakout
the
year
low
for
side.
Chase Briscoe. His first year with one of the best teams in the sport, Joe Gibbs Racing.
Momentum's got to come out of this top right here. Will
Won
the
2
19
races
pick it
so
up?
far
Oh, he's
the
up
season.
there. He's blocking.
Been
He sees
strong
it
in the
coming. He's
playoffs,
hearing it's
trying
coming.
to get
Logano trying to
lock
make
into
the
the
third lane,
final
work on the
4.
outside.
Whoa! Looks like he had to really
Great
separate
save
himself.
from
Larson's
Chase
going to try and get back to the
Briscoe.
outside.
Once
Last
again
lap of
from
stage
him,
2.
presented by Credit One Bank. Points on the line. Playoff
Logano
drivers
trying to
at
make
the
something work
front.
on the outside. After have to make a
It is
late
on.
pit stop due to being caught out by the caution.
Spare a thought for young Carson Hocevar in the middle of a sea of playoff drivers with so much on the line.
See Nemechek moving. No, yeah, Cole Custer, excuse me, moving to block the high lane where Logano is. Here they come now through 3 and 4.
90 miles an hour.
For Bell, where's he going to go? He's probably going to go to the bottom to help his
Decision-making.
teammate up front.
And it's Briscoe and Larson.
Here they
who
come
out
now.
of turn 4 and
Looks like
into
it might
the
be a surge from the
tryover.
outside lane. Look at Ty Gibbs making a run. Oh, Larson almost getting pushed way high. That might be the kiss of death for that run. Here comes Chase Briscoe to win stage 2.
Chase Briscoe, who grabs the maximum points.
Larson
stage
2nd,
2.
Hocevar 3rd, Byron 4th, Bell 5th, Gibbs 6th, Gilliland
hard
7th, Blaney 8th, Nemechek 9th, and Alex Bowman in
Big one
10th.
for him too. First stage win on a drafting track. Close, tight, and a lot on the line.
Oh.
2 playoff drivers grabbed the most points, Briscoe and Larson. This is how they came across the line.
I don't know Logano. He got way back.
No points scored for the 22 of Joey Logano.
All right. So now we get a commercial break. There's, I believe, 68 laps to go.
68.
Yeah, so Talladega races are 500 miles. So the track is 2.66 miles long. So that's 188 laps that they run. The stage 1 and 2 are 60 laps each. So stage 3 is 68. So we get to the required 188 laps.
This can be like almost like 3 hours long.
Races are typically 3 to 3.5 hours. I don't care. I will watch it whenever. I'm not. So,
yeah, for me it's like a different time. For me it's like almost midnight, so I'll probably go to sleep soon.
No, the Formula 1 United States Grand Prix is going on right now, but it's been so boring. I haven't. Oh, great. 2 laps to go, and the standings are basically the exact same as when I left them, except we had 1 pass for 2nd place. Great. I mean, I don't like watch. I watch it because I watch F1 because it exists, not because I think it's great racing, because it really isn't. But Max Verstappen looks like he's going to get his 68th career win, the 127th win for Red Bull. As he continues to slice away at the points lead held by Oscar Piastri.
Wait a second, I'll be right back. Wait a second.
Of course. I actually need to pee, so I'll be right back. So 14 and 40 is going to be. Oh, we're back. All right. Good timing by me.
And pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it. What these fans want is good racing, and they just saw it all the way to the line there to complete stage 2, where you saw some very hungry playoff drivers, but non-playoff drivers. Let's give a shout out to Carson Hocevar, 3rd. Ty Gibbs, the winner of the first stage, he was in 6th. David Gilliland, John Hunter Nemechek, and Alex Bowman, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So they all did well in that stage, the closing phase of that stage anyway. Here we are. We're on board with thanks to Xfinity with Bubba Wallace. Of course, a full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver and a part-time photographer. NBC Sports and Toyota got a behind-the-scenes look at his passion for photography.
I've always just wanted to recreate the photos that you see the professionals take and add your own little twist to it or whatever it may be. Constantly judging myself, my photos, my work against others that I see to try to chase something much better. So it keeps me hungry at doing photography when I do have the time.
How important did you two find it when you were in the midst of competition to have something away from the track?
I think it's really important. I struggled with it. It was very hard for me to, every time I felt like I was doing something that wasn't racing involved, somebody was outworking me. Like I felt like I couldn't go enjoy myself because someone else wasn't, and they were going to get more results because I was taking it easy at that time. But I do think now, older in life, I do understand. I think I would have been a better race car driver had I given myself the opportunity to step away a little bit and enjoy some other things. I think it probably would have made me better.
Stevie, as a crew chief, do you even get the time to do something
No,
else?
I was going to say I didn't have anything really away. I think perhaps if I would have found something to kind of enjoy outside of the garage, maybe my career in the garage would have lasted longer, but the fuse kind of burns on both ends of the day and both ends of the week if you want to keep up. You know, I was fortunate enough to share kind of a wall. The other side of that wall was Chad Knaus's office, who, by the way, was winning everything. And when you saw that he was there so much that you just felt like you had to be there, as Jeff said, or you were getting behind.
You're back, Curtis Wayne.
Yeah, I had the fortune of having Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch. The list goes on and on as teammates, and they made you after work. They were so good.
Pit lane is about to get super busy in this stage break. Marty Snyder and the team are standing by. Take it away, mate.
Lee, first time we've seen
Pit
William
stops for
Byron
everyone
flex
who
his
didn't
muscle
pit at the
today.
end,
They've been in
right
fuel-saving
before
mode
the
for
end of
much of the
stage two.
afternoon. Rudy
Yeah,
Fugel
right before
told
the end of
him,
stage
we're going
two.
to take 4 tires. The jack will drop. Do not go. Wait on me, Kim.
For Kyle Larson, he said, I moved to the bottom once I had no
Someone
energy.
will-
I think
someone
the
will-
wind is really affecting the car. 4 tires, Snowco fuel. Christopher Bell, bottom left. Adam Seaman asking, what do you need? He said, just water and a tear-off, Dave.
Chase Briscoe was told to keep an eye on his fuel pressure because they had an issue on the last stop. He made it to his pit stall.
So 6 drivers stayed out. So Chastain, Zane Smith, Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, Josh Berry, Austin Hill. So numbers of 2 tire
We're
stops.
right in the middle of it.
So this will be an interesting
Last
shaking
week
up grid
in Vegas, highly
for the
eventful, highly
last bit of
emotional.
the last charge of the
For
race.
Denny Hamlin, his 60th win. Today here in Talladega. Next week, we're off to Martinsville before its full championship focus in Phoenix.
Here comes the side-by-side big touch.
That is sports car racing you see right there.
Oh, big hit.
This season of Win the Weekend focuses on the battle of manufacturers and the personalities behind the sport.
I don't watch it a ton, but it rocks.
This is where legends are born and where reputations are made or delayed.
So I was trying to think of all the manufacturers I know from it. Corvette, Ford, Cadillac, Porsche, BMW, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes, BMW, Aston Martin. Might have named all of them, actually.
I have to go now.
You have to go?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
sorry.
being around for a bit.
I know. One question.
Also available on Peacock as well. Time now to head to the Peacock pit box. Our Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett, Marty Snyder. What do you think, fellas?
Yeah, I want to get the thoughts from the Hall of Famer. Joe Gibbs Racing wins stage 1 and stage 2. But DJ, I want to talk about Hendrick Motorsports. You know, they've been in fuel-saving mode for much of the day. That's the first time they've really flexed their muscle with both the 5 and the 24. What do you think about their chances?
Yeah, I think Byron, I'm more impressed with there. The 5 car still has some issues. He keeps complaining about just not having everything. He's talking about the wind affecting his car with speed-wise, so I'm not sure that they have that. So it's a great job by Kyle Larson to get any points right there.
It was a great start for Team Penske and Joey Logano and also Ryan Blaney right after stage 1. You see the 5 coming to pit road there to top off with fuel, Ryan Blaney as well. But we talk about the issues with a 22 car. Joey Logano continues.
Why is Blaney back on pit road?
Issues. They just lost Josh Berry, who just went to the garage area.
What, Berry?
An important wingman for both of them. Could this be kind of falling apart here for Team Penske?
Yeah, it really is, because the 21 had the speed to make things happen for them. Whether he was pulling them along or then could get behind them and really push. So that's going to be detrimental. And keep an eye
What
on
happened,
a lot
though?
of the playoff drivers that we are seeing, the non-playoff drivers that we're seeing up front that could impact the finishes and the outcome of this race.
Hey, Lee, you hear all that noise behind us? That's everyone coming to pit road to top off. Fuel certainly going to be a factor here in stage 3 as well.
What a tough break for Josh Berry. He's led the
Mechanical
most laps
issue
today
for the
with
21.
27. Here's Denny Hamlin needing some assistance out of his pit box.
It's like it stalled and he couldn't get it started. Kim.
Yeah, just came on the radio, kind of frustrated, said the starter not working, so needed a little push from his crew.
Yeah, he stalled the car out, leaving the pits, and then with no starter, the pit crew just push starts it.
Not a big deal unless, of course, you stall on your green flag pit stop.
Yeah.
It would be a very crucial situation.
So Marty brings up a good point about the term wingman. Austin Cindric raised it yesterday, and you look for the 2 playoff drivers from Team Penske. They had 2 wingmen in Josh Berry and Austin Cindric. Austin was involved in that big accident a little earlier in stage 1, so he was unable to assist the drivers of the 12 or the 22. And then you look all around at who's going to be able to help. Who are the non-playoff drivers able to help their teammates still in the hunt for a championship?
Yeah, and it's interesting. You look at stage points, you know, Kyle Larson with 9, Christopher Bell 7, Briscoe 10, Byron 7, Logano 5. He did not get stage points in that second stage, got him in the first stage. Ryan Blaney with 10, Dylan.
Something, guys, to watch quickly on Kyle Busch. The mileage they've been getting at the front of the field has not been very good. As you'd expect, that's the case for everybody. They said 4 to 6 is the range they want for the best fuel mileage to the end.
Getting ready to start stage 3 for this YellaWood 500.
All right,
It has
green,
been
green,
quite the day
green.
for the driver of the 8, Kyle Busch, as he and John Hunter Nemechek lead this field back to green.
That's a lot on the inside lane.
Hunt Brothers Pizza on board for Logano. Let's go for a ride.
3/4 front. 3/4, 3/4, half, half, quarter front, quarter, quarter, quarter front, quarter. 3 cars here on the bottom, quarter front, no third. By the 10.88.5. 10.688, third lane. You got the 2 Fords behind you cleared to it. 17 still cleared to it. 17 still cleared to it. It's a 10.6, just the 60s cleared to it. Just the 60s. Numbers are second lane and third lane. Only you are cleared to it. It's a 10.688. Only you're cleared to it. Only you right now. Only you.
Bottom lane trying to make the run. Again, it's Kyle Busch, Alfredo McDowell. Nemechek, the current leader, with Reddick behind, and then Logano.
88.1. 60 is cleared to it. The 17 is not. 3 cars left here on the bottom. Quarter in front.
Logano moves to the high lane.
Will just be the 60. 17 filled middle behind. You're 1 inside. 1 inside. 60 still favoring with you. 60, 10, and 6, all 2 wide. It's 2 wide. There's a single car on the bottom at row 7.
McDowell.
Jeff, how do you focus at 190 miles an hour when you've got that much talking?
What was great about that was you heard Coleman Presley, who is one of the best in the business, telling Joey Logano he was clear to it, meaning the outside line. If you want to go there, you can. The guy behind you, now he's clear. The guy behind you, now he's clear. Telling Joey, if you go to the outside, some guys might go with you. He didn't tell him to go to the outside line. He was just giving him the information, and Joey made the decision.
Right there on the bottom of your screen, you see the 21 rejoining the field already. Dave, quick work in the garage.
That was
yes, they
really
did,
fast.
Steve, same issue as the Penske cars have been having. The gear oil too hot, burning out of it. They had to refill it with gear oil, get him back out here. He can still be a factor in this race for his fellow Fords.
Could still be a factor, but that raises my concern for the 22. We've heard about it being a little too warm. Marty's reported it all day, plus 45 at one time. I mentioned everyone runs the same gearbox, but the cooling setup, really how much air you put to it is a little bit optional through the teams. Obviously, Team Penske a little on the aggressive side.
Let's see.
Man,
Josh
I
Berry
wasn't
is
concerned,
currently
but now I
3
have a
laps
bit
down.
concern for Joey Logano on the 22.
Probably will
Some of
go
these guys
fourth.
are trying to drag this group to the top of the racetrack. They want to get them to the top to get single file, but others on the bottom, Marty, they don't want that to happen.
Yeah, Jeff, we mentioned Joey Logano brought up the gear oil issue again under the last caution. Here's what Logano had to say.
20 over. They set that gauge too low. 20 over is not even remotely close. Okay, but it smells. So, and it feels draggy.
So, Jeff, the temperature has come down, but if you're in Joey Logano's seat right now, what do you trust? Because gear oil is a very distinctive smell. Logano is saying he smells it. Paul Wolfe is saying the gauge is wrong. Do you trust your nose or do you trust your crew chief?
I try to trust both, but they're conflicting information. Joey Logano
I don't
has
care which one it is as
enough
long as it goes wrong for the
experience to
22.
understand the senses that he has and what the result of those experiences has created. And so when he smells that gear oil, that is unusual. And he knows it. So he also has this gauge that's saying, I'm a little hot, and he's smelling gear oil. Those two things collectively are telling him that he could have a problem because he's experienced that once before, at least in his career.
Adding to everything else that he's trying to juggle at the
Blaney's
moment,
trying to
there
report
he
on the
is.
bottom, too.
Sits fifth.
Oh,
Look
inside
at Ty
lane,
Gibbs
trying to
down
keep
low,
working.
the
There's Ty
54
Gibbs.
Monster Camry
Up
for
to
Joe Gibbs
where
Racing.
Alfredo is.
He's got Bubba Wallace right behind him. Kind of been running down there by himself for several laps and doing well.
21
to
gets
stay
lapped.
where he is.
The other thing about the gear oil, Steve, is what do you do with it, right? There's something, like we talked about earlier, he tried to get in clean air, maybe to get more cooling because the air gets through that vent into it better, but other than that, what can you do?
Yeah, unless you
Ty
have
Gibbs
some opening
is
you
now
can
side by side with the
freeze,
leader.
Which I would imagine they would have already done. They couldn't
On the
have
low, and then now
probably
on the
married
low
to whatever
lane.
they have for a situation.
Now kind of the middle lane.
You see on that left side of the 45, those 3 white dots on the quarter window. That's what that is. That is basically a white dot on the NACA saying, hey, these are still taped up solid. Don't think they're open.
Up goes Gibbs.
Gibbs the
That
leader.
was a really well done. Really well done. Fight your way to the front and then get up in front of the field.
Don't be surprised to see Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Riley Herbst, all these guys. This is an opportunity for them, and they need to execute this part of the race to keep them with this track position, to have a chance to ultimately win this race.
Well, we talk so much about the playoffs because it is the focus
Who's
of
in
the
leading?
championship.
Bubba
But
on the bottom.
today, what
Logano
could today
also goes
mean
down to
for
the
Ty
bottom.
Gibbs being his first ever win, or Riley Herbst, right? Or Daniel Suarez? Why wouldn't it be his first? He doesn't have a public announced ride for next year. We don't know what the 99's doing.
A win could do wonders.
Yeah, so, you know, it's easy to get lost. John Hunter Nemechek, they're in the 42. It's just so easy to get lost in the playoffs when a win is so important and they're so hard to come by.
Think about John Hunter Nemechek, you know, Legacy Motorsports
How are the open
owner
cars running?
Jimmy Johnson. We
Let's
know all
see.
the success that he has had. They love to get a win for that team.
So McLeod is 33rd. He's 6
Right along
laps
with Austin
down.
Dillon here, the breast tree camera. He's had
Alfredo
some issues
is
early in
currently
this race.
running.
He's 2 laps down. Casey Mears is 1 lap down, so Casey
Mears
Mears
is
going to
in
get a caution.
30th.
He could
A
get
lap,
back
one
in the
lap
lead
down.
lap, and that would allow Austin Dillon to
Alfredo is 13th.
start getting laps back if he
And
gets
Austin
several
Hill is the
cautions.
last
By the way,
one.
with Daniel Suarez running up the front, time to congratulate
he's
Trackhouse
25th.
Racing, created motorsport
27th.
history today. Being a NASCAR Cup Series
To win it
winning
in
team,
MotoGP.
and they won the MotoGP
With Raul
race
Fernandez.
in Australia.
At Phillip Island.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get the party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside. This is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Logano the leader. Oh, of course he is, with Blaney.
We are getting very close to the final 50 laps, brought to you by YellaWood. Some important numbers there on the right-hand side of your screen. We will see what transpires over these final 50 here in Talladega with the teammates at the front. For Team Penske, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney.
They always seem to find there's, oh, almost a wreck down the back straightaway. Big push. Almost went wrong. And watch this. Kyle Busch giving a big push right there.
Oh, I would have been bad for Reddick.
That was so close. Tyler Reddick did a really good job. And those and Kyle Busch and Anthony Alfredo, they also did a good job. Right? Watch this. Kyle Busch lifts. Anthony Alfredo lifts. Off they go. And what's crazy is the next lap, if you're the guy getting pushed like that, you're waving in the mirror. Do it again. Do it again. Makes me go faster.
Those pushes are going to become very difficult here as the field continues to slow in a little bit of a fuel conservation mode. I only bring that up because it becomes unnatural, right? You can all go down the interstate at the speed limit really with no issue, right? And one guy just touches the brakes. Next thing you know, there's that stack up you see all the time. So while these guys aren't on the brakes, as they roll out of the throttle trying to save gas, it just changes the natural kind of cadence of the pack. So if I'm driving behind you, Jeff, and I'm expecting you to go forward, but you're backing up to me and I don't expect it because you're out of the gas, that's when we've seen these pushes turn into really big wrecks, just because the forward energy of the trailing car, the rearward energy of the forward car. These guys are running 52-second laps. The fastest lap of the day is sub 49. So 3.5 seconds off. They still are remarkably fast. It's just not kind of a natural flow.
Cheddar's Chevy for RCR looking at the Toyota of Tyler Reddick, but it's a Ford freight train down to the left on the low line. Dave, we saw Josh Berry coming off the track a moment ago. Tell us more.
He was told to drive the car to the hauler. That is NASCAR speak for day is done. Park the car there because we're going to load it up and take it home.
So that damage to the gearbox seems to be too much for the 21. They tried to put some more oil in it, but obviously, whatever the issue was, that wouldn't rectify it.
And you said it earlier, that makes me even more concerned for Joey Logano. He's smelling that gear oil. Still 48 laps to go in this race.
Over a quarter of the race.
How about the run from Anthony Alfredo today in that Beard Motorsports 62? Enjoying some more time at the front. Marty, what you got?
Middle lane's creeping back up. Kyle Busch-Reddick trying to not
all lined
almost
up
wreck
together.
again.
And this was the question in Countdown to Green that we asked about. Team Penske on the ropes in the playoffs. Who would be willing to or not willing to help them in this race today, especially when it comes to the end of this stage? Well, at the end of stage 2, Ryan Blaney was not happy with the other blue oval cars and how they raced him. Listen in.
First thing get bailed on by the fucking Fords. I know. We're lined up in the fucking second lane going to the driveway. He goes back down the bottom.
So, Jeff, it brings up a very interesting dilemma. If you
Fredo
are
trying to get a run around the outside. He's right next to Blaney.
Help the playoff cars.
Goes down to the middle
What's your
lane.
reaction?
Goes back to the top.
Or not?
I do exactly that. I help them when I can. And when I can't, I don't. And what that means is I can help, but not...
Oh, what happened to Herbst?
Going on with the back of the mid-pack.
It was Riley Herbst. Seemed to lose speed pretty quickly. Look at the middle of the screen.
Yeah, everybody going around. I'm assuming this is some sort of tire issue. Has the look of a tire going down or a mechanical issue. He does
How
a
did
nice
no one
job
wreck?
not turning left until he's completely clear. And he goes all the way to the apron.
What a bad break.
Dylan, tell us more. What have you heard?
Well, there was some concern. Riley on the last time down pit road had the team check under the hood, thought he was blowing up. Not sure if that's what it is now, but obvious issues for the 35.
Unreal. That could have been a huge pileup. Very good driving behind
Some
the
sort of mechanical
35.
issue,
You
I
hate that
guess.
for Riley having such a nice day. Watch middle of the pack. He moves left. He knows he's slowing down. Good job by Riley as well.
Whoa, look at that Austin Hill, but that might be a...
Close calls. 26-year-old from Las
That
Vegas.
could be a yellow line penalty.
Best finish of 14th. He was in position today to have maybe a career day, and unfortunately, it looks like it's come to an end.
Is this the day that Joey Logano, who, by the way, is a 3-time Talladega winner, kind of breaks a recent run of not great results here? 9 of the last 10 races, he's finished 19th or worse here. But today is the day that he needs to deliver big time, and so too does his teammate right behind. Again, they came into today's race second last and last in the playoff point standings, needing to deliver big.
With 45 to go in the race, any caution at this point would bring everybody to pit road. We'd be inside the fuel window.
Look at the RFK Fords of Keselowski, Buescher, and Preece. All in a line. On that low line, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
And I know we have had that one bigger wreck that definitely got
Dowell
7 or 8 cars.
low
but
line.
with a
It'll be next to
40-car
Logano.
field,
Chastain's kind of left on his own
outside,
although the line will eventually catch back up. McDowell back to the top.
In the lead lap, and look at all these
He's way out there. Back
If
towards
you weren't
middle.
with us a little earlier, there was a big crash. Not the big one, but big enough to take out AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, Austin Cindric, playoff driver Chase Elliott, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who came into today as the defending race winner. That was at the end of stage 1. Relatively clean stage 2. And here we are in stage 3. 44 to go here at Talladega.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been...
I've seen this, like, law firm commercial. We're back.
40 laps to go, this time across the line. Time to take a look at a race recap brought to you by Tree. And this is that crash that I was telling you about before we went to the break, involving AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson. This is AJ's view. Oh, that was a hard hit. And he said he's going to be sore tomorrow. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved, Justin Haley, Austin Cindric, Chase Elliott. And this was AJ when he got out of his car. He was okay in the end, and that was Chase Elliott going out. And how about this one, Jeff? An unusual sight for Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, SVG coming down pit road actually got into some water in the seams between the two layers of asphalt, and this car came around on him trying to get on pit road. Lucky there weren't more cars involved in that wreck.
All right, Steve, what's your gut telling you about
Ross
how you feel
Chastain
about
in the
this
middle
one,
lane
inside
leading
40
it
to
now.
home?
Yeah, there's a big game of poker being played right now. Everybody's trying to figure out what position they want to be in and how much fuel they want to get there. The 22, he didn't top off, and he's led most of this run, so my gut tells me he's probably burning the most. But we also know they're probably the most efficient at putting fuel in the car, so it's kind of a big waiting game. A caution right now would square everybody up. So it all comes down to that same green flag cycle that we've seen in most stages.
Chastain used that outside lane. He was running mid-pack, and about 4 or 5 laps, he got himself to lead that second lane. See Christopher Bell now leading the third lane with SVG. We just saw a replay of spinning down pit road. There he is, back in the top 15.
I think it's time, fellas, that we take a look at our credit ones to watch. Stevie, kick us off.
Well, I'm looking for driver owner Brad Kozlowski behind the wheel of the 6. He has 36 career wins, 6 of which coming here at Talladega, but only 1 in the car that he owns back at Darlington last year. So Brad Kozlowski looking to take RFK back to victory lane as driver owner.
I like the look of Ty Gibbs today. He's been featured at the front. He led 32 laps here earlier in the year in April, and he did finish in the top 10 at Daytona at the last drafting track. So we'll see if this is the day that this young man gets his first Cup victory.
And this is an opportunity race, so I'm going to go back to Todd Gittel, and he was running in the top 10 just a few laps ago. 25 years old, a third-generation driver, driving for Front Row Motorsports. This arguably is his best racetrack. 3 top 10s here. Can he get himself in position to win this race?
And while we're talking about different winners, there have been 10 different winners in the last 10 races here at Talladega. Does that trend continue? How about Christopher Bell up on that third lane? I don't think we've spoken enough about the driver of the DeWalt number 20 today.
Hamlin,
he is there and he is in the mix.
Bubba
and
Wallace,
as they run, heading to Martinsville, he sits
Chastain,
third at the moment. Tell us more, Kim.
Yeah, and Lee, he said this weekend will be a big turning point in terms of the whole game of the playoffs, points, fluctuations, etc. And the only way he will feel comfortable going to Martinsville is if he wins here at Talladega. He said there's nothing safe about where we are points-wise, even though they are currently, as they run plus 24, could easily get knocked out if he's in that bottom spot with two new winners each week. So he said, do not expect me to be timid here in the closing laps of this race.
Hamlin, Keselowski, Bubba Wallace.
Martinsville was where his
Chastain,
championship run came to an end last
Chase
year.
Elliott, Kyle
He does
Busch,
not want that to happen again. And a win today
Ryan
can
Blaney,
confirm
Tyler
his
Reddick,
spot
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
in Phoenix.
He talked so much about not leaving it to chance, right? Not having to go to Martinsville in the position to having to have a great finish, and today could go a long way toward that. 7 points earned today.
88 up high. Shane Van Gisbergen back in the mix. Tell us more, Dylan.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned the spin he had earlier on the comeback trail now. Talked to him earlier, and he said, you know, there's not a lot that translates from the other oval successes that we've had recently to here, but the biggest thing is the confidence to push the car to the limits, even understanding where the limit is. Plus, now he's starting to see some of these racetracks multiple times at the Cup Series, 4 times in the drafting tracks here at the end of the Cup season. So all of that is starting to pay off, and it's a really good recovery for the 88 today.
How about the Trackhouse teammates? He's side by side with Ross Chastain, and he's being followed and pushed by Daniel Suarez.
I love that shot as they head right at you down the backstretch. It shows you just how, you know, you think they're locked in and running a straight line, but they kind of dance at you. There's a little bit of movement and energy amongst the entire field. You get the same look off turn 4 in these little short shoots. And then, Jeff, the tri-oval, not only is it perhaps the toughest because it's a corner without a lot of vertical loading, but it goes from 3 lanes to 4, back to 3. It's like a natural restriction of traffic right here. You're going to watch this dotted white line right there disappear. The bottom lane just goes away.
The other thing is, while you were riding along with Kyle Busch,
they're talking about the trial lanes of the trial.
he was on the very bottom of the racetrack
what happened with
there's less banking there. So that part of the racetrack has the least amount of grip
it reminds me of
anywhere else.
the Flap Shoes video. Talking about
34 laps to go here at Talladega. Who is going to get it done today? It's an important one.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend.
in this YellaWood 500. Been quite the day, Kim Kuhn.
Alex Bowman currently running in the 20th position.
What happened to Bowman?
Today, but maybe a problem. He said it continues to misfire. We've seen him drop just a little bit. Crew Chief Blake Harris asking if the gauges are doing anything. He's saying no, so currently monitoring that situation. Now let's bump closer to the front of the field. Denny Hamlin kind of battling back and forth for that 5th and 4th spot. And remember, spirits are very high for this team. They won last week, and Crew Chief Chris Gale told me the way they got that win with Denny racing his guts out to get to the championship 4 was amazing. They took a couple of days last week to focus on nothing but Phoenix. And remember, they told me that they would love to get a win here for 2 reasons. A, keep the momentum up, but then also keep someone else out of the championship 4. And I say that, Marty, as Logano is leading.
Yeah, Kim, an interesting.
No one wants Logano in the final 4 besides him.
Josh Berry to play the role of the car that's leading. When you lead here at Talladega, you burn way more fuel. In fact, over a run, it's about a 2 to 3 lap deficit. Add to that Joey Logano did not top off under the last caution, so he's had a pretty good fuel deficit to his Blaney right behind him. I just asked Paul Wolf, Steve, does that concern you? He said, yep, obviously it does concern me a little bit, but no matter what, our plan is Ryan Blaney is going to pit with us when we come to pit road. So Logano having to burn all that fuel out front may change the strategy for Team Penske just a little bit, but the plan right now is to stick together.
Yeah, so I think that will stick together. Just the problem for the 22 is he's probably going to have to stay in his box longer. But I agree with Paul. You don't want to just give up this position. You've worked your way to the front of the field at this point. Remember, yellow, and everybody will come down under caution, and you'll probably be able to stay towards the front of the pack. So we'll just have to see how these laps play out. I imagine we're going to see pit stops in about 10 laps from now.
Remember early in the race, we saw the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, going to the back of the pack, right? Just trying to make sure he can be in this position with nothing to gain. Why getting a wreck early? But we've seen him all day position himself where he needs to be at the right time. Well, here he is with the last pit stop approaching, sitting here running in the top 5.
We've spent a lot of time talking about the Fords and the Team Penske Fords. Just look to that top lane. Let's not forget about the Hendrick Motorsports teammates in William Byron in the
Kyle
24.
Larson. Both trying to make the final 4.
Larson. Their other playoff teammate, Chase Elliott, is out of this one, and Alex Bowman's got troubles. So it's down to these two to help each other in their respective quest for a championship and to represent Hendrick Motorsport the best they can. Let's talk more about this 24 team, Marty.
Yeah, it's been an interesting race for William Byron and Rudy Fugle. You're right on board with the Valvoline onboard camera for William Byron. They have been in fuel-saving mode for much of the day today, but they have been able to make their way to the front when they need to. Into stage 2, they did it. Here at the end of stage 3, as we're approaching the pit stops, they've done it again. So Byron clearly has a lot of speed in that 24. But, Jeff, how much information did he miss out on for much of this race, not running in the front of the pack that could pay dividends to win the race?
Not knowing what your car will do and won't do can be a deficit. Also, other guys seeing you in the front, right? They know you have a fast race car when you're in the front. So how much do other drivers trust him?
Yeah, it's like an audition, right? The more laps you lead, everybody thinks, man, this is the guy I want to be with near the end.
Steve, this is, if you can call this calm, this is the calm before the storm, right? When this last pit stop happens, it is going to be chaos. But every driver knows if this thing goes green, you have to execute this coming pit stop, this getting on the pit road, having the fueler do his job, the driver leaving pit road. That can determine if you have the track position to win this race. Chase Elliott talked about it earlier in the race. He thought they did not do a good job of this part of it. It got him back in the pack, ultimately got in a wreck. Every driver knows, and they've all worked really hard at it, getting on pit road. Fueler doing a good job, leaving on time, not getting blocked in.
Think of the mental toughness it requires, Diff, right? We've only had 4 cautions, so these guys have been under green now. This run for 37 green flag laps, so call it 30 minutes, give or take a little bit of absolute focus. If it runs green to the end, it's going to take another 20 minutes of absolute focus, and the pit stop's only going to be 4 seconds. You're not going to get a mental break.
At 190 miles an hour, with your competitors so close around you, and just 24 laps to go.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
The last time, hopefully, for a while.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a
4. Don't forget Arca West.
all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
The NBA tips off a new era on NBC and Peacock.
Now just getting started.
Rockets, Thunder,
Now just getting started.
Warriors, Lakers.
Yeah, we just getting started. Yeah, we just getting started now.
NBA tip-off, Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
You know, it's kind of a funny story. I was scrolling on eBay looking for a car. Mine. Nona was right. It had to be an Alpha. I found one on eBay. It just needed to be a bit more bellissima. Gave it a quick tune-up, the essentials. Then I drove down every winding road I could find, and eventually bumped into you.
Tutto questo da eBay.
Allora.
Thousands of cars, millions of parts, all in one place. eBay. Things people love.
There's a reason we do all this shifting, launching, and battling over a bottle of champagne. We harness this and put it in that so you can feel like this. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Have you been injured and are searching for an injury law firm? Are you looking for an experienced law firm that gets you results? Are you looking for a law firm that will treat you like family and not just a number? Then look no further. Call the law firm of David C. Chavis now, and we can help you.
That was abrupt.
An unfortunate end to the
Cody
day
Ware.
for Rick Ware Racing's Cody Ware in the Arby's Ford as he ended up spinning in his own oil.
You gotta be
he came
shitting
by
me.
in the front stretch very, very, very slow.
Stepped
we weren't
on
sure
own
he was going to
dick.
get back around even from that. The engine, it sounded like it had expired on the 51. And then with him spinning on the apron at 1 and 2, it was a required caution instantly from NASCAR. And this will put the entire field kind of, the game plan now is very clear. Everybody will be to pit road. Now, what you do on pit road, I'm not sure is crystal clear. Like Joey Logano's going to need a little more fuel than, say, Todd Gilliland or Ryan Blaney. But do you feel your driver needs tires if the pushing and shoving gets too much? And with 27 cars in the lead lap and differing strategies, very important for clear communication. It's going to be very easy to run into somebody coming or going who's on a different plan than you.
Y'all gotta get under the hood, right?
What?
Fix that, yes, for sure.
Why? What's up with Hamlin?
Sounds like the 11's going to be doing some more work than that, Kim.
Yeah, Hamlin reporting the throttle is stuck, and the crew chief did look at the SM team data and said it looks like it's 20% stuck. Some frustration from Denny just about kind of the nature of their cars and not being able to get them where they need to be, but throttle issue for Hamlin.
Better this week than last.
Yeah, but he had, he wrecked one at Martinsville with a stuck throttle, a piece of rubber once. I mean, that's something that, as a race car driver, that would, and as a crew chief, that's my number one responsibility is to make sure the driver has all his controls. Let's listen into the 11.
I don't know what to do. If I'm pushing the clutch in, it just goes to peg. All I know is to turn the motor off and then work it. That's the only thing I can tell you. Okay. It's just f***ing unbelievable. Why can't we keep our cars together?
I understand his frustration. I know the win last week is what they were looking for. It was a big emotional day for Denny. It was a great day for this team because now we're on to the championship 4. But at this point, we don't know exactly what's wrong. But you hear the frustration in Denny's voice, that mechanically he feels this is something that shouldn't be happening to the 11. And look, it's mistakes. I mean, I agree with Denny. I also empathize with Chris Gale, right? I mean, he doesn't work. He has to manage this situation. I guarantee Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing are going to take a hard look at it, but real frustration from the driver.
Yeah, and look, what Denny Hamlin is thinking about is here in a couple weeks, you're going to be in position to win a championship, and you cannot have these types of issues.
Let's relive that magical weekend a week ago for Denny Hamlin.
Big time moments for big time athletes.
Let's go, D8. How about that?
to the point where I give the fans some.
I beat your favorite driver.
I beat your favorite driver, folks. Not today. I appreciate all of you so much.
Here comes Hamlin again.
Momentum, you. I didn't think we were going to win, but I knew I was going to give it all I had.
Denny Hamlin is going to Phoenix.
60 wins is massive.
Championship, here we come.
He knows his time in the sport remaining is limited. He's going to capitalize on every opportunity. A couple of really important things post that race last weekend. Denny Hamlin said it meant more. It was his 60th career win. It puts him in a tie for the top 10 all-time with Kevin Harvick. He said he can't believe his name is on that list. And he gets a chance to race for that elusive NASCAR Cup Series championship another time. That is the most important thing. Pit lane comes alive, and Marty Snyder's there.
Lee, both of the Team Penske cars in the playoffs came in below the
Really?
top line, but now they're in a position to win. Fuel only for Ryan Blaney. For the 22 of Joey Logano, fuel only as well. William Byron, fuel only too, Kim.
And Marty, you see Denny Hamlin, bottom right of your screen.
Of
They
course
will
they're
put the
gonna
hood
stay
up, try and look at that throttle issue he's having. You heard the frustration on the radio. Remember, a couple of weeks ago at Kansas had a similar issue. Remember, momentum is a real thing, and they were hoping to keep it here
You
this
may check
weekend,
Austin Hill,
even
stay
after
out.
winning last week's race.
How about that from Ryan Blaney? Great work. Chaos on pit lane, though. Check this out. Wallace and William Byron, that was a close call. Everybody hustling, everybody scrambling. They know that it's on for these final 20 laps.
How fast could a stock car go?
Victory still hanging in the balance. Wallace a finger out in front. He'll drop the hammer.
Chase Elliott now is on the prowl.
Nobody's giving it in. Lady right down the middle. Chastain handling as hard as he can.
The speed mounts up to the driver.
Funky
Back into the racetrack.
Edwards goes up in the air.
The whole field is down into one, destroyed.
Was that crazy, guys? That was chaos. That's Talladega for you.
It's been an eventful day. It hasn't been a crazy day yet, but this is Talladega, and we know that there's 19 laps still to run, and a man who knows exactly the way to get to victory lane here at Talladega is our Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett. DJ, what have you observed that you like? What are your feelings over these closing 19 laps?
Well, Diff, you know, we came into this day kind of setting it up, what the Penske drivers were going to do, what Blaney and Logano needed to do. They've done everything. They positioned themselves right where they need to be. Now, how are they going to play each other as these laps wind down? Both of them feeling like they need a win. They've gained points and everything. My other thing was Denny Hamlin up there. Now he's going to start from the back, but he can affect this race and decide who he might be racing for a championship without breaking any rules just by pushing someone else to the win. And I'm sure he doesn't want to have to race either Blaney or Logano for the championship in Phoenix in a couple of weeks.
11 lost a lap on pit road, but it doesn't change exactly what DJ just mentioned. He'll be able to get up there and mix it up as we see the choose coming with 18 to go. The 22 of Joey Logano, very, very fast pit stop. He's going to choose below his or behind his teammate Ryan Blaney. I'm going to tell you, to lead that many laps and still have that quick of a pit stop for the 22 of Logano, they have got to be nervous on if they had enough fuel put in that race car. I'm sure they have it, you know, measured down to the ounce, but it doesn't feel like there could be a whole lot extra with as quick as that pit stop was at only 3 seconds.
Tell us more, Marty.
Yeah, Steve, Joey Logano asked the same exact question you asked just a moment ago. He said, do we have enough fuel to make it to the end? Paul Wolf radioed back, yes, we do. 18 to go. This is going to be a great shootout.
Is it going to be a playoff driver that capitalizes, or will it be a magical day for a non-playoff driver? And then we're talking points heading to Martinsville next week. There are 3 playoff drivers in the top 4 positions with Blaney, Logano, and Kyle Larson. Let's talk about another playoff driver in Chase Briscoe, a little further back, Dave.
Lee, he has been up and above the cutoff line. He's been down below it as he is right now, and he's in a similar fuel situation that Marty described with Joey Logano. Just a little splash of fuel there, about 3 seconds worth himself. So we'll see where they stand. They haven't really given him any direction yet on how close he'll be, but same category in terms of how much he took on.
You hear all the drivers shutting it off. That's not just saving fuel, it's also cooling the engine. The real question is, with 18 to go, how many are running under green, how many are under yellow, and how many do we run? Jeff, we could see multiple overtimes.
That's right, multiple overtimes. Of course, cautions, you don't burn hardly any fuel whatsoever. So, Marty, what do you have on William Byron?
Well, so, Jeff, this is interesting. Rudy Fugle just told William Byron a moment ago it's going to be really tight for us to make it to the end on fuel here.
On.
And Byron said, okay, that's fine. Just if I need to back down, just make sure you give me plenty of heads up. So even though everybody just pitted and there's only a handful of laps to go, they're tight to the end to make it.
About to enter the Busch Light restart zone. Listen to the crowd.
Again.
They're amped. They're ready. And there will be just 17 laps left here in the YellaWood 500. It's a couple of Fords on the front row. Ryan Blaney, Todd Gilliland. Let's go.
Of course, the Penske duo is running together on the bottom.
Keep in mind, Ryan Blaney got taken out of the Vegas race last weekend through nothing of his own fault.
The Penske cars got separated. The Penske cars got separated right there. That's going to give advantage to Todd Gilliland. Let's see what he does when he gets the lead.
Drop
and
down.
Look at Larson. Look at the 5. Look at the 5. Does he? No, he thought he might have had a chance to come down in front of
Gilliland. Gilliland goes to the bottom.
Gilliland does. So Chevy's up top. Ford's down low.
Now Todd Gilliland with 17 laps to go. He is going to be driving out of the rearview mirror for this entire time, blocking. Here comes the 5 car. Todd does not need to make a block just yet. Here comes some help from the 12.
10% of the race left, 16 to go.
Push Todd back out in front of the 5. 5 momentum's coming, though, from Suarez.
On board with Chris Buscher. Thomas's high-protein bagels. Great view. And Chris has got a shot at this as well.
5, even with the 34 front row, half front. Still half front. Tight front.
Look at that push.
Wow.
Todd Gilliland, did he get too far out, though? Watch how quickly they're going to catch him.
Marsh locking Blaney to his inside. He can't necessarily make the
What
run
a
around
moment
the
for this
34.
25-year-old from North Carolina to be at the head of this field.
Suarez giving some
for the final
momentum to the
15 laps.
5 of Larson. Side by side with Gilliland.
Little
Bump from Blaney to
from
Gilliland.
Blaney.
15 to go.
Suarez, meanwhile, in that second lane, helping a fellow Chevrolet driver. Let's go inside the world of the 22 team at Team Penske. Have a listen.
On, still on, still on, still on.
He's backing up. Maybe they'll give him a run at Blaney. Fords are lined up 5 on the inside.
Quarter in front. Gets tighter. Quarter in front, quarter in front, quarter in front. Quarter in front, quarter in front, quarter in front. Tight front, on. On in front, on. Quarter in front here, quarter in front. Heavy quarter in front, heavy quarter in front. 14 to go, quarter in front, quarter in front. Quarter in front, quarter in front, quarter. Get tighter, 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 on. 6 and 60 CU, on in front, ping ponging. Release, quarter in front, quarter in front. 17, 24, 20s behind that 99. 6, 60, 71 to you, half in front. 13 to go at the line, half.
Can you imagine in his 400th start, if Kyle Larson, the driver of the 5, the 2021 Cup Series champion, can win on a drafting track for the first time here today.
13 to go.
And give himself a shot at another championship by confirming his spot in Phoenix. Wouldn't that be something magical?
It's fun hearing that exchange from Coleman Presley. Coleman was a driver himself, and he comes from a family of very well-known drivers
Robert
in the
Presley.
Southeast. Tough, hard-nosed drivers. His dad, his grandfather. He is a hardcore racer, hung up the steering wheel, and has become one of the best spotters we have.
And all that information he was giving wasn't about the 22. It was about the 12 to the
Son
34.
of Robert Presley, the grandson
gap
of
in
Bob
front of the
Presley.
12, because he wants Joey Logano to know if he's able to push the 12. So when he would say quarter, 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 that means that there was a quarter car length between the 12 and the 34.
Jeff, you bring up a good point about
Outside lane starting to form. See Zane Smith charging.
And now for the first time, Larson clears and is able to
Larson
come down on the low line.
He covers the bottom lane.
So far,
Suarez now leading the middle lane.
Times, I would like to see him drag the brake a little bit to keep from getting out so far. That allowed
Suarez
Kyle
now
Larson
gonna be
to
side by
get
side.
in front of him.
38 of Zane Smith, that bright green car first in the third lane. Haven't mentioned his name much today, but here he is trying to drag that third lane along, and he's doing it. Look at the push up top for the
38 side by side.
He'll be at row 1. The 38 3 wide for the lead.
He won the pole here back in the spring. He'd love to win the race here in the fall. 3 wide now. We're packed up.
Oh, what a run. Chastain pushing Zane Smith to the lead with 11 coming to 11 to go.
The middle lane got going. Look at the 12 car. Look how many rows of track position.
Wow.
They're gonna
None of the
have to get
playoff
organized
drivers
here to
jumped
get this
into
track
that lane
position back.
either.
They are coming up. They are just flying up on Alex Bowman. The wounded Alex Bowman.
Oh, get to the inside.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, God.
Look at the closing rate and the speed.
Ah, look, Suarez going back 4 wide.
In the pack.
Yes, and
risky move by Hocevar, almost 5 wide.
Is being pushed.
38 and 1 are way out there. 77 still caught out there. Sliding back through.
Big accordion of
oh, God, how they not wreck?
One in the 38.
That completely shuffled this entire field up. Let's see who comes out on top.
Larson's still hugging that low line. Now he's trying to come up and go with him. That's opened up an
Why'd you
opportunity
leave
for
the
Gilliland.
Don't leave the Fords.
Now a third lane opens up with Chris Bush.
10 to go. Chastain to the bottom. Oh.
Look at this jostling.
Gilliland pushed it out to the middle lane.
Chastain went to the bottom, and when he did, Gilliland said, okay, I'm going to your outside with Larson.
Zane
pushing.
Smith blocks the bottom. Outside lane now led by Chris Buescher.
Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland. Noah Gregson, the third car, was in an accident early.
Look at the push from Larson.
Where is Gregson? I don't even. He's not there.
You can feel the intensity picking up. The heart rates inside of these race cars has built and built and built, and now it is operating at a high level because they all know the opportunity for a huge
front row teammates leading the field. The last time they finished 1-2 was here 12 years ago for their first ever win.
Through the tri-oval, crossing the line, 9 laps laps to go, and it's the front row motorsports teammates. Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland at the front of this field.
Look at this chaos of cars.
Let's go on board with William Byron with thanks to Valvoline. His teammate immediately ahead.
Outside, good run.
Half front. Half front. Quarter off you. Still middle.
Outside lane shifting back a bit. Middle lane's got some good momentum. Bubba Wallace, a little bit of a bump to the 17 in the outside lane.
Gilliland
Inside lane looks like it's
nice
checking up a
shot
bit.
from Kyle Larson to zip by his teammate.
8 to go.
It's such a difficult decision for Todd right there in that 34 car. Go to the bottom or stay in the middle.
Right back.
Larson's done a really good job of pushing him. So now again, Todd gets way out in front of the pack, and here they come. What's Larson do? Really nowhere to go. Just push, push, push. The outside lane coming.
Third lane headed by Briscoe.
Just get back up here. 19 is clear out the front. You are top of 3. Your help is closer to you. Top of 3. Speed 7 to go at strike.
3 lanes, fully active. 7
Oh
laps
God,
to
3 to
go.
go.
From this
I'm sorry,
point.
7 to go. I can't count. Chase Briscoe. I heard that he
Now all
was
you can
leading
do
the
is
high lane.
push,
He's ridden that to the
right?
front.
There's really nowhere else to go. You can make it 4 wide, but it gets really tight. So now Bubba Wallace knows he's got to push this 17 car Busher.
And Busher is pushing Briscoe all the way to the front.
So far, that bottom lane has not worked. It has drugged Blaney and Logano back.
Fine with me.
Multiple positions. Todd Gilliland
Top 2 are way out there. Briscoe and Busher.
Positions.
Byron
Even with
pushing
his teammate
Kyle
behind him
Larson.
pushing him.
Larson to the high lane.
Oh,
6 to go.
Sight right there.
Oh God, they're 3 wide behind
Everybody's
the top
starting to get
5.
together side by side. They're trying to side draft each other down the straightaway to slow down the line next to you.
Is Austin Hill going to make it a
Austin
third
Hill
lane?
on the
Yes, he
outside.
is. He's being pushed by Carson Hocevar.
Just to the left of Hill, that 41 of Cole Custer, Kyle Busch behind him. Casey Mears behind
Wait,
him.
where's the MBM
And
car?
that 66, that neon roof number in the middle of the pack.
Could this be the biggest day Chase Briscoe's ever
Oh
had?
God,
on the
17 a
track?
little squirrely.
Can he lock himself in to the championship 4? There's 5 laps to go as car number 5
Logano is
goes
falling
to
to the back of the pack. 5 to go. William Byron now the leader on the inside.
Driver? Who do you like the look of?
Larson to the left, looks like he's going to try to go to the high side. He does. Busher goes with him.
And
Middle lane now led by Bubba Wallace.
Stack up at the end of this one.
Oh! Larson cuts to the inside, to the middle, and the inside of Busher. He leads the middle lane. But Briscoe is still out there, leading.
William Byron in second. He'll tuck in behind race leader Chase Briscoe.
Look at this run.
Let's go to the middle to block Larson.
Briscoe
The outside lane get
coming,
another
jumping
run
to the
with
middle
Busher
lane to block
at
that
the front of
run.
it.
Here comes the outside again. These guys are trying so hard to make the outside work, but too
Byron
high.
moves middle.
They
Briscoe
moved
goes with him.
Austin Hill
Briscoe goes
out of
bottom.
He gave the bottom up, and now
4
he's
to go.
in the fourth lane.
Zane
He is
Smith, I
gonna
think,
fall
falling back.
William Byron, a week after having his heart broken, when he thought he was a chance to win in Vegas, and it just all came to a massive halt after slamming into
Larson
the back
giving
of
his
Ty
teammate
Dillon,
a big
leads
push.
for the first time today with 3
Be careful! Be careful! Bubba goes to the inside. Ah! Oh, God!
Lanes behind them, dude.
Oh, stay worried.
The 19 of
But Wallace
Briscoe,
got a good run on the
first one
inside.
there.
Briscoe coming back with it.
That should help this third lane. That mix-up of momentum could potentially help the third lane. There comes the 17 of Busher.
Bubba Wallace has won here before.
3 to go.
Could he get a second Talladega win in the same year that he won the Brickyard 400? Final 3 laps here in the YellaWood 500. Is it going to be a playoff driver who is celebrating a berth in the Championship 4, or will it be a spoiler? A non-playoff
Byron's up front.
driver.
Now he's got to block all the lanes. Oh, he can't block the top where Busher is.
The 8 of Kyle Busch back of the pack drives it in there 4 wide. He knows it's time to go.
Logano's working his way back through the field.
Carson Hocevar on
Behind Kyle Busch right now. Byron holding the middle. Busher's got a good run on the outside with Hocevar behind him. Coming to 2 to go.
Got built up from a whole lap ago.
2 to go from here.
Back of that pack.
4
Kyle
wide.
Busch making it work with the 22 of Logano, trying to get on offense. Lost track position. He was in the back of the field. Here they come.
Busher thought about it. William Byron goes lower.
Coming up on the laps, Bowman again. Byron goes high. Busher goes with him. Oh! There goes Busher! No!
Busher's in the fence.
Big impact, driver's side.
Gosh, God damn it!
It is not the catalyst for the big one, but it takes the RFK driver out of the YellaWood 500.
You saw the movement, the dancing, the blocking. Chris Busher gets spun off the front of the pack. You see his eyes closed. Big hit for Chris Busher.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
That was head on. Damn it!
That's the only way people know how to drive these things.
Similar to
Are we leading though? We're leading.
safety team that he's okay.
How to push without just slamming.
Yeah, pushes gone bad. We see it so many times. Blocks or pushes are typically how these wrecks happen, and that's it.
Yeah, bad
So
impact on
much
the 24
momentum.
and the
It looked like
17.
Byron was getting a push from someone behind
Probably
him. as well.
Hocevar?
Let's see
Yeah.
it. Right there. Yes, that's what happened. Hocevar with a big push into the 24 Byron, and then as soon as Byron gets to Busher, he gets another hit, and around Busher goes. That's what we talked about earlier.
driver's
The
gonna be
spotter has
leading
to
on the
be
final
telling
restart, but does he have enough
all
fuel?
the drivers where the car is 3 rows in front, because there comes a point where you can no longer push.
Second time today, race leader has been taken out. Similar section of the track as well.
I mean, you're leading the race, right? You're in the position you want to be in, and you get spun around down the back straightaway. Look at him looking in the mirror. That's the digital mirror that he's looking at.
Oh, knows the big hit is coming.
It's such a big hit, guys. It just, all that energy goes right through the driver's body. And what disappointment. Did nothing wrong at all, and his day is over.
The crowd cam.
Watch his hands. He knows he's going to hit. Hands off the wheel. Trying to prevent from injuring your wrist, your hands.
AMR safety team doing the outstanding job like they always do. Marty, there's action on pit road.
Yeah, Lee, we talked about how close these teams were cutting the fuel. Both Penske cars going to have to come to pit road, the 12 and the 22 coming to pit road here because they did not have enough fuel for an overtime. I asked Rudy Fugle a moment ago, William Byron, the leader, do you have enough for an overtime? He said 1, maybe.
Let's listen into the second place car of Kyle Larson.
Save all you can. No swerve. Should be good on fuel for this one and would be close if there was another one as well. Save all you can.
Save all you can and no swerve. Basically, don't go back and forth and kind of jostle the fuel up. What can happen is the pump can actually pump some air, and you get air into the system. When you go to full power, there's actually a stumble. You don't want that as well. Free pass, I believe, is going to go to Denny Hamlin. He lost that lap with the throttle situation. We'll confirm that with NASCAR. I don't think that will be a factor, but you never know. We've seen crazier things in multiple overtimes.
Take you back to a year ago in this YellaWood 500. And with 5 laps to go,
22nd
the
and
big
23rd.
one. It basically took out the entire field. It was colossal.
This is what every driver knows when the intensity picks up and it's winning time. The desire to win at this racetrack is so great because it means so much to a driver's career. Winning a cup race is just a big deal. We saw it in Denny Hamlin, the emotions last week about how important it is to win. And the only way to win here is to put big blocks on and big pushes.
Apparently, Logano hit for gas.
It can work out, or you can end up on the back of a record.
Take a quick look at that graphic, 10 for 10. 10 different winners in the last 10 Talladega races. Do we make it 11 here this afternoon?
Well, first Byron, second Larson. Neither are on that list.
Brad Keselowski, he's still in the race, but he saw one of his teammates and one of his employees out in the hardest fashion. Win in contention.
It's pretty interesting, Steve, the strategy played by the Penske drivers, crew chiefs rather, in regard to the strategy of how much fuel to put on. It makes you believe that they were in a must-win situation. They didn't gain enough points in the first 2 stages. So they just didn't get enough fuel in there in case of an opportunity for overtime.
Well, let's hear from Cliff Daniels, crew chief, to Kyle Larson. He's with Kim Kuhn.
That's right, and his driver currently running second to teammate William Byron. So this is a spot in the championship 4. Never won here at a super speedway. What do you want to see from your driver in this overtime restart?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we've had a decent day of execution. Really proud of the team, proud of Kyle, everybody on the HendrickCars.com Chevy for just keeping us in the game. Our handling and speed was off a little bit at first. Not really sure where that came from. Made a few just small adjustments on the car, and you guys know how these speedway races are. You just got to execute and be there at the end. So, luckily, we're in a good spot now. If we get another green-white checkered, I'm just not too sure about fuel for us or for anybody else. But if we stay clean, we got a shot. So we'll see how it goes.
It's out of your hands. So what are the nerves like for you on top of the box?
Well, I just want to make sure that in my position, I'm giving Kyle the communication we can, you know, to know how to save and all the things we're looking forward to kind of know where we are on fuel. So a little bit out of our hands, but still trying to be involved and communicate well, bring us home.
Think about how they were communicating at the beginning of the race. Larson was saying, I'm slow, I need more. Cliff was saying, you need to save fuel, you're not giving me the number. Right. And here we are all these laps later. He's got a chance to win for the first time on a super speedway, but he's up against his Hendrick Motorsports teammate.
Coming to the choose, Jeff, I would assume the teammates are going to start nose to tail unless they think they can cover the front row and let each other in, but that would seem to be a risky situation on a final restart.
Yeah, let's see what they do. You can see they're running different speeds because they have their engines shut off, right? And they'll shut them off at different times. So one will be going forward and the other one's going backwards. But let's see what happens. I do think that there is an opportunity to start nose to tail and then switch just past the start-finish line, but it has to be executed perfectly if they choose that.
Okay, lights are out the
They're going to split the front
row.
row.
They're splitting it.
And they're going to cover the front row.
Oh, my God.
So they're going to start side by side. Hendrick cars side by side on the front row. Now, the good news is side by side is, I take this back one thing. I know they're teammates, and Kyle Larson looks good on points, but I also think they have to, they can't try to win at the expense of the other, meaning wrecking or things like that. But at the same time, I believe you also have to try to win your race. And we'll see whether they work together here in the restart or whether they drag race side by side. If they do stay side by side, is the 77 or the 23? Who is your preferred pusher, I guess, becomes the next question.
We know that many of you turn on at different times. For those of you turning on lately, let's get you back to
You gotta hurry this up, man. We're going back to green next lap.
And this was a significant multi-car crash in stage 1. This was A.J. Allmendinger, the race leader. Huge hit.
Yeah, 2 of the wrecks we've seen, the race leader got involved in it, had nothing to do with it. This took out a lot of cars simply from pushing and shoving, trying to make your lane go faster. AJ, in a great deal of pain, had the breath knocked out of him. He's okay now.
Unfortunately, it took Chase Elliott out of the race. This was an unusual incident involving Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, loses control under braking. There was a little bit of water weeping up between the seams. He gets his rear tires in it. He gets spun out, luckily not collecting. And then this final wreck right here, a push on the outside, catches the 17 who was trying to pick up that push, spins him very quickly to the inside, and a big impact on the inside wall.
And that leaves us in an overtime situation. This is Chris Buescher. Look at him. Look at the eyes. He knows the big hit's coming. Hands off the wheel. Crowd reaction. And that was when the RFK Ford driver had a chance to win. He was at the front of the pack.
Hopefully the last restart.
Brings us to a green-white checker overtime situation presented by Credit One Bank. Who do you have? Who do you like? And who's going to perform the biggest on the big track?
Green, green, green.
Back to racing, and the teammates on the front row. William Byron on the inside, Kyle Larson on the outside.
Let's make it around for the goddamn white flag.
Who's
wow, some cars in the back going way high.
Hocevar in the
Trying to maybe try to get a run for the third lane. Just like how Blaney won at Daytona.
The teammates on the third row from Joe Gibbs Racing.
Someone's got to make it 3 wide at some point. Who's the first one to do it?
Look at that top line.
Wow, they're surging. Here comes Kyle Busch trying to ride it.
Kyle Busch says, Jeff, I was thinking about making a third lane. Yeah, I will make a third lane.
Byron's up ahead. Oh, wasn't coming back at it though. Don't ignore that third lane though. Middle lane surging. Larson the leader. He goes down to the inside. Bubba Wallace leading the middle. Here we go. Wallace with a great run. He might clear down to the turn 1. White flag. Last lap at Talladega.
Drivers in the top 4 positions. Bubba Wallace doesn't care about that. He wants another win at Talladega. Kyle Larson's trying to get
push from
his
Briscoe to
first
Bubba.
win on a super speedway. Wallace has half a car length at the moment.
Here comes the Hendrick. Oh, Larson is out of gas.
Look at this. Larson is out. Maybe out of gas. That leaves Wallace. Here comes Briscoe.
Briscoe to the inside of Bubba Wallace trying to get the win.
Gilliland's got a chance.
Ty Gibbs right behind him as well. Here they come now to 3 and 4. I mean, out of 3 and 4 to the tri-oval. Wallace with the run on the high side. Gibbs gives a push to his teammate. 24 wrecks coming to the tri-oval, and it's Chase Briscoe who locks himself into the Final 4.
Byron spins through into the shadows. It's Briscoe's big time on the big track.
Chase Briscoe joins teammate Denny Hamlin, locked into the Final 4. Damn, man.
He joins his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Denny Hamlin in locking in a berth in Phoenix.
24.
Chase Briscoe talked about this week how he felt like he was still proving that he belonged in this car. He continues to prove it.
Right here, you see the pushing. And watch the 24. He's going to get spun around right here off the nose of the 77, just trying to push him. He loses 24 points in the tri-oval as 3 wide behind for the 19, who easily wins it. It all changed when the 5, I think, ran out of gas. On board with the 24. 24 points in a quarter mile, Jeff.
Right, that is just what's so disappointing for a driver to have a good day. And it all goes
in the last turn. God damn it.
Everybody was shoving. Here's Larson with the problem.
I thought they were in good position right here because I thought he was backing up to the 24. But then when he pulled out of line, we knew it was an issue. So now the 24 is looking for help. They do a nice job kind of going back to the offense as the 19 turns left. Did a really good job. And how about Ty Gibbs in that 54? Sticking to the rear bumper of this 19, giving him a good shove out front.
And here's a pushing and shoving, just trying to get to the line. 20 into the back of the 77, the 77 into the 24. They just got misaligned, and around goes the 24. We talked about it all day long. Pushing in the tri-oval is dangerous.
Well, Trace.
Wow, kind of hurt tears in your eyes on that cool-down lap. Go grab the checkered flag, absolutely, and wave it to these Talladega fans here, Chase. From your windshield, how in the world did those final few laps play out?
Ty Gibbs, just incredible teammate there. I mean, I honestly would not have won that race without Ty. So just an amazing team effort. I can't believe I won a super speedway race. I haven't done it at any level anyways. Thank you guys so much. Every time we come to Talladega, this place is sold out. And this is an unbelievable atmosphere. I cannot believe I won here. Johnny Morris is here with Bass Pro Shops. And yeah, it's not hit me. We're going to Phoenix.
You have raced for a championship in the Xfinity Series, but this is the first time in the championship for a Joe Gibbs or for you and Cup. Is this a dream come true?
Yeah, absolutely. Just so thankful that the Lord's blessed me, you know, opening doors and even closing doors at times, but certainly, you know, opening an incredible door here with Joe Gibbs Racing. And
where did we
God
finish?
Is so good. I say it all the time.
25th.
Even today,
God!
I just had such a peace.
I mean,
I'm scared to death, nervous wreck around this place. And I just had such a peace that regardless of the finish, he was going to use it, you know, somehow for his glory. And pretty cool that it ends up in victory lane.
All right, now 2 Joe Gibbs racing cars into the championship 4 lead. Chase Briscoe wins it at Talladega.
The 30-year-old from Mitchell, Indy.
What's the playoff form? Anyway, damn it. That sucked. Damn it. Why? Well, that does it for today. And damn, I big sad. Anyway, thanks to everyone who showed up. Hope you enjoyed. BowserJrXD signing off. See you next weekend for Martinsville.